What is good? What is good? What's going on, everybody, today? Today is usual gold member, throat punch, uppercut, up, up, down, down, left, right, BA select, start, combo breaker, Thursday night live. And we're going to talk about something today. We're going to talk about something that you are probably doing subconsciously to scare away clients. And it's a very simple trick that once you master, you'd be surprised at how it increases your close rate. It's going to change it. So be ready. Be ready for it. Don't say I didn't warn you. I didn't tell you, but it's something that you like, man, I never thought about that. It's probably what you're going to say. And it's cool. I like it when you say that. That's my favorite thing to hear. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to hearing clients say that as much as I look forward to Rodney, like doing his hair before I bring him on live. So y'all can't see what I say. I look forward to these things. I look forward to Frozen just chilling like he in the green room of a Murray show. You know how they be like, let's see what your man was doing at the Murray show when we put the girls back in the green room and he trying to be cool. Like that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. Shout out to all my gold members that's standing by getting ready. But before we do that, we're gonna jump into some graphics because we gotta, we gotta do that. That's just how it rolls. We gotta do graphics. So let's do graphics real quick so we can get into today's topic. What's really good? My name is Ty. I'm a former Army combat photographer, the current owner, CEO, the man of Flash Film Media, which is a production company out here in Dallas, Texas. And this channel is about getting that bag. There's no way I can make it more simpler and fluff free than to tell you we are here to help you monetize what you love to do, no matter what it is. I used to think it just applied to content creators, but after this week's live earlier, I found out that people way outside of this realm is enjoying these throat punches to help them grow their business. So we gonna just, it's designed for content creators, but everybody can use it. You know how like deodorant is strong enough for a man, but pH balance for a woman. Remember them commercials? That's kind of how it is. You can apply it to whatever you're doing in business. But today I want to talk about something, and you know, we're gonna make sure y'all fully understand this area because I'm a double down on it. There's a part of your process when it comes to talking to clients that you are subconsciously unknowingly dropping the ball. That part is in walking the client through what's next. Nothing scares people away from spending a lot of money than talking to someone that doesn't have an itinerary, that doesn't fully explain what the process will be. This is what's going to happen. Even when you go to a dealership, they tell you we're going to fill out paperwork. We're going to go for a test drive. We're going to fill out paperwork. We're going to take it to the finance manager. We're going to call the bank. Bank's going to say yes or no. You're going to either leave with a car or we're going to figure something else out. Dealerships are great at that. Often, as content creators, just looking for this big ticket, this big bag, we talk to people without telling them what's next. They have to fumble their way through the process. That should never happen. You have to take control of the process and explain what's going to happen next. Even if they don't ask it, even if they don't talking about it, even if you're not even there yet. You bet not talk price. You bet not talk proposal. You bet not talk anything until you can talk about what's going to happen next. I'm always walking my clients through the process. Hey, what we're going to do now is we're going to get on the phone with you. We're going to gather some information. I'm going to take it back to my team so that we can create a proposal for you. Once we send over that proposal, we're going to call you within 24 hours. We're going to go through that proposal. We're going to sign off on that proposal. Then we're going to submit out the non-refundable retainer. And I keep going so that the client knows what's coming next. Let me tell you why this is valuable. One, your competition is not doing it, right? They're just telling you we're going to show up and shoot. Nothing reassures a client like telling them what's going to happen. Right? Turbulence is so much better when a pilot tells you we're about to go into turbulence. Because if they just hit crazy flying and you like, what's going on? You're gonna panic. You're gonna flip out. You're gonna freak out, and you're gonna be worried about everything. But if a pilot can tell you, hey guys, buckle up, going into some rough winds, gonna be a little turbulence, but we're gonna be all right. You're gonna do a whole lot better. Whole lot better. Really quickly, let me put this out here and make sure I'm upfront and clear with this. We still have the Memorial Day, 31% off. Boom, bang, pow, off everything besides consultations. But off everything at the site. There you go. That way I don't get the messages because people on Instagram see me live and they're either waiting for the live 15 or that. So there you go. We'll leave it up there for a few seconds just in case some of y'all got dial up and it takes time to pixelate and like go from 8-bit to 4K or whatever. We'll leave it up there for a minute because it'd be like that. But it is extremely important that you start to create the process of what happens to a client or with a client so that they can feel comfortable with your business. They need that to cut that big check. Somebody who spending $20 don't care about what's happening next, right? Somebody who they just don't care. Somebody that's spending $20,000 wants to know everything that's going to happen once they hand over that money. They want to know what needs to be paid when they're going to get the item delivered, and you need to have that map. And I'm going to give you an example of a time where I noticed how relevant this was. I usually have my systems and processes together. And one time I had a big client that at the time I wasn't ready. I felt like I wasn't ready to handle, even though I walked them through the process. I felt like I wasn't ready to handle them. So I passed them along to, at the time, was a friend of mine, and I felt like he was further along, and he fumbled on the 1-yard line. Simply because he couldn't tell this huge brand, this huge store brand that's probably in a city near you. They sell everything. He couldn't tell them what happened next. And they came back to me and say, you know what? We'd rather work with you. I didn't know why. They didn't say why, but after talking to him and asking him to walk through what he did, I learned why. And they later confirmed it. They said you were more organized, you had an itinerary, you knew exactly what the steps were going to be. And because of that, we want to work with you. We're not guessing what's going to happen. We're not guessing what's going to take place. Golden Crown say, I made that mistake today. Shake my head. So just think about it. Think about the last time you made a big purchase or you went to buy something. It can be something as simple as a grill. You want to buy a new grill? The people at Walmart are going to tell you, hey, pull this tag, take it to the register. We're going to bring it out to the car, blah, blah. Or you bought something that required delivery or that required assembly, right? You want to know the steps. You don't want to buy something for delivery and they don't even tell you when it's going to be delivered. And they're like, see you later, sucker. You paid for it. We get it to you whenever. You want to know when they're going to deliver it, what time they're going to deliver it, how many people come. You want to know everything. Your client wants to know that as well. So make sure that as a part of your sales process, needs to be in the beginning, you're walking your client through your process so they can know what's going to happen. Now, let me tell you some other great things about this that you really need to know. They're going to ask questions that will allow you to upsell them. Let me say it again, because this is y'all left money on the table. They're going to ask questions that will give you the opportunity to upsell them. It's just going to be layups after layups. They're going to throw oops after oops. They're going to throw slow pitches after slow pitches, and you got to knock them out the park. Let me give you an example. Usually when I talk about arriving at a client's location, they never thought about the fact that we will be setting up lighting so that we can capture video. Oh, well, I better make sure my makeup is perfect that day. Well, you know what? We do offer makeup artists if needed. Oh, you do? Then I go into how our makeup artists specialize in makeup for camera, on camera work, because the makeup that's used for newscasting and on camera work is a little bit different than the makeup that the average person does, especially if you did it in poor lighting, right? A lot of ladies drive to work doing makeup. A lot of ladies do it in their bathroom. A lot of guys, and this is something that I've learned, especially guys who are bald, who feel like they're gonna sweat under lighting, they want makeup. Believe it or not, I can sell makeup 75, 80% to guys who are, who rocking the bald. I can do that all day because they're worried about how that looks. They don't want to shine. And I'll tell them, be mindful of it. As we got Jim here who's representing real quick. I'm gonna bring everybody on. They don't know I can see him, but I can see him. I'm gonna bring everybody on in a minute. But so you got to keep that in mind as you're pitching that. And a makeup artist should be something you should be making a really good amount of profit off of. A really good amount of profit off of. Right. And those are things you need to pitch. If you're talking about, during the process, I say, hey, at this moment, we need you to provide us with the script. Those are times where I'm like, okay, well, you got a 3-page script. Are you going to memorize it? No, I got somebody writing it up on a board and they're going to hold it next to the camera. That's not going to work. We do offer a teleprompter. Right. So that's why it's very important that you go through the process when it comes to pitching to a client. You have to do it. Get used to doing it. Now, this process will probably change depending on what service you're providing. It's different for headshots than it is for maybe even group shots, right? We offer promo videos or testimony. It's different for each one. So you need to write down what that process is so that when you call a customer back, and this is something I talk about in module 2 of the master course, you have a list of things you want to go through, and you're not just willy-nilly, did you see what we sent you? No, get out of that. Stop shooting from the hip and start to write down these processes so that you can be consistent. And I'm gonna tell you, when you are consistent with every customer, you'll learn where your weak points are. You'll learn where you're messing up so that you can make tweaks. If you call a customer and it don't work, and you call another customer and it don't work, you don't know what part of that was good and what was bad. If one person say yes and one person say no, you can't tweak it. You don't know if it was the client, the customer type, or you don't know if it was what you said. So get in the habit of trying to create uniform messages, uniform processes for each service that you offer. It's extremely important. It's something that you just don't think about. You're like, yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna call them up and just rap with them. We're just gonna chop it up. And it's not a good look. And listen, it's very important that you start to pay attention to things like this, because a lot of you guys are doing the same thing over and over again without a change in result. You're thinking it's just luck, or maybe if I find this person, or maybe this, or maybe that. And if you pay attention to what you're doing, you can improve on things. You can become more efficient, right? Tim's waiting, but I'm sure a great marketer can say, hey, we spend a certain amount of budget, we look at what that's doing, and then we tweak it to get where we want to get. We're using analytics to improve our product. And you can't look at analytics with your business if you're doing something different with everybody. You need to create this service and build out almost a script with that service. You need to build out every aspect of it so that when you use it and things don't work, or you're losing people at a certain point, you can look at it and say, okay, this is where I'm losing people. I need to change this. I need to tweak it. I need to do something different. So keep that in mind as you move forward. It's extremely important that you have it laid out for clients and you can walk them through the process, because a lot of people lose clients in that area. I've seen it happen. I've lost clients in that area. I'm not going to tell you. It took me understanding what I was doing wrong to know. And it start as early as, being on Thumbtack and having a bad pitch, or where am I losing you at in the pitch? And when you're asking clients, well, why aren't you working with me? Why did you choose a different company? a lot of them will say, well, you said this and we're looking for that, or I didn't feel like your approach was unique, or I didn't feel like you answered the questions that we had. I didn't feel like you looked at the information that we provided. When you start getting a lot of that, you got to make changes. You got to make changes. And then you'll get to the point where you're nailing every one of them. Like your close rate is ridiculous. Because one, you've identified that target audience and you know exactly what works with them. What works with one person won't work with the next, right? That's why they sell cars in 50 different colors. That's why brands sell 50 different cars, and they even have multiple brands under their umbrella to appeal, because people aren't the same. People want things that are different. So make sure that you're aware of that, and you need analytics to grow. And you cannot track things if you're doing something different with every person. Extremely important that you understand that. Extremely important. So with that being said, I'm going to bring in the crew. I'm going to bring in everybody because we got a full house tonight. I like that. So we're going to have everybody jump in this thing. What's going on, everybody? Everybody.
What up?
What's up? What's up? We got the whole, like the Brady Bunch up in here. That's how I like it. Let me go to my usual format. Look at Rodney. Look at this. He ain't even looking at you, Rodney. Darren was supposed to look to his right. See, I'm gonna put you in the middle for a minute. That way you can. There you go.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. So we're gonna switch to this format. That way I can give you the big screen. And let me ask you guys a question, because I got you on. We got to go straight to it. How many of you have been doing this? How many of you have been outside of Tim? I know Tim Marketing, they live off analytics. So, but everybody else, how many of you have been looking at your pitch and looking at your brand and products you offer this way?
Kind of just started.
You talking about?
Oh. Yeah, kind of just started. Because like I tend to evaluate stuff every certain number of pitches and calls I go through, and then going back and reviewing module stuff. So like right now, I'm kind of revising my overall Thumbtack pitches, even like my overall discovery calls, things of that nature. Just because, like how you said before, if you keep doing something and you notice it ain't working or something's not going the way it should, it's time to change it. You can't be like, oh, it's them, it ain't me.
Yep.
So yeah.
Let me make something really clear to you guys, right? Because depending on where you are in the world, you may not have Thumbtack. Right. So when I say Thumbtack, I want you to take Thumbtack out and put any website that presents leads to you. Any website that you can bid on leads, like Bark or sometimes Upwork or things like that. These same methods work in multiple places. The difference is you're getting put in front of clients that are ready to buy now, and you just have to compete with the guys that are next to you to do so. So that's it. Don't have to be Thumbtack. It can be. I know some people in Canada don't have Thumbtack. They got Bark. I use Bark too. I've used Upwork. I've used plenty of websites to get business. I've used Craigslist before. I got clients off Craigslist. You'd be surprised. I got big clients off Craigslist. I was able to do it. But so if you somewhere and you like, I don't really got Thumbtack, I'm talking to any place like that. Any of you guys, can any of you guys talk about a time where you may have lost a sale because you didn't present, or you felt like clients was asking a lot of questions? Go ahead, CSM.
Yeah, I feel like I lost a sale because it's not that I wasn't confident in the pricing, but I think what I was confident in was the fact that I could give the customer what their expectations were for the pricing. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I knew what I was worth. I knew I didn't even do structure based, but I knew, and I know we talk about size it up. I know, but you don't. Well, I got to say this. Before I started deciding to do corporate video production, came out of my own pocket with it. So what I would do was I'd rent the gear, and I did a 3-camera setup, sliders, 2 different camera lighting, key light, fill light, backlight. And you guys know what that's like to set all that stuff up. An hour and a half later, he's not rolling. It just frequent trips back and forth. And I sweat through my clothes like, Patrick, you don't have to warm ups. And I said, you know what, man? This is $5,500 if it's a penny. That's what's gonna cost to do this. This is 12 hours of shooting, chasing this dude to the gym, following behind. I got a car. I'm hanging out the back of a car with a gimbal while he runs in the winter. I'm like, yo, for real, I'm killing myself. And I'm like, listen, there's no way I go back and do this to somebody for less than $5,500. So I was sure about that. It was just delivering the experience to the customer. And what you said made so much sense to me, because you said people think you're standing there like this with your camera, the microphone, and say, now give me $10,000.
Yeah.
And that's not what happens.
They don't even picture the microphone. They don't even picture the microphone. They think you're going on. They think it's serious.
So I'm thinking, okay, lights, camera. So that's when I started listening to what you were saying about the demo reel and showing I'm not fugazi. This is me out there. At first, I was trying to hide in the background. Let me put pretty people up front and I'll just stay in the back. Now I'm like, you know what? I'm front and center, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was my issue. I didn't deliver to them. Let me explain to you what goes into this. It was just like, you see that video? If you want that, pay $5,500. We'll do it for you. So that was my problem.
And I'm gonna tell you what else helps. If you start them low, like that's why you gotta have that base price. Like this is the bare. Now you get the. I don't know what your budget is. You may be able to afford all this that you're asking for. You may have, this bag, that's waiting to get all these drone shots and have me hanging out of I didn't hung out a van and a monkey harness and everything, but they paid. For me to put on a monkey harness, I used to hang in the C-130s and be hanging to a tether. You know what I'm saying? Filming. I don't mind getting back in the monkey harness, but it is a monkey harness hidden fee that's deep in, the flash film media pricing that's there, but it's there.
You see, you were more advanced than me. I'm hanging out the back of a Jeep. My son's driving this guy's Jeep. He's running behind front of me. Yo, slow down, Alex. Slow down.
My life insurance don't cover that. My life insurance, they don't cover
that was
that.
voluntary. That was voluntary. I wasn't even getting paid for that. That was me.
No,
that was my beta test.
The way my life insurance set up, they would have gone, he did a what? No, we're not covering that. We don't cover none of that. He should have had a monkey harness. So you just gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be careful with that. Because listen, the people, if you can show them examples, this is what we're able to do. This package, they got this drone, moving shots, all of it, and just let them. That way you're not. The blame is not on you when you can't deliver what they want. The blame is on their pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody can't afford a Big Mac. Some people just got to rock with the cheeseburger and it's cool, but you're going to still be hungry after you eat. That's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to slide you a Big Mac cuz you're hungry. Like that's something that you got to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just business. Like, hey, I'm sorry, it's business. Don't take it personal. But there's just and we get lost in it because it's our passion. We really want the project to come out great. We really want to give dope footage to this person and we love it. And the only person we're hurting is ourselves. It's the equivalent of, and Tim, jump in here with me real quick. It's the equivalent of you wanting somebody, ad campaign to do good, but you're not gonna come out of your pocket $500 to see if, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna come out of my pocket $500 on top of your budget to see if we can get great analytics for you. No, you gotta make that investment. You gotta want to do good for us to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I shouldn't have to invest more in your business than you're willing to. If I have to do that, what does that say about your business and how you value it?
100% facts.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's right. That's what gonna be. Somebody gonna be like, I'm gonna be in public. Somebody gonna be like, yo, ding, ding, ding. Like if you ever seen that video, you gotta check it out. Mario, go for it, bro.
It was kind of like good afternoon, everybody. First of all, good afternoon. Hope everybody doing well. But it was kind of like a client that we did a live presentation for them like a few weeks back. And I was like, look, we can do I can get you more clients for you. You just need to we just need pictures of your current menu or like some food items, and then we can start running some ads for you. And the lady was like, yeah, sure. And it was like 2 weeks, and like I keep doing follow-ups, like sending message to her, follow-ups, and she pretty much ghosts me. And it's just exactly what you guys are saying. Like if you're not willing to input from your end, like, what am I? Well, I can't do not much for your business, like, so I kind of just told her peace out. Like, I got time with other clients.
And you got to be like that, like, or you will get abused. It's you will get ran through the ringer. It's extremely important that you have to. Yeah, you get this abuse. It's camera. Some of you guys are shooting in 4K when you shouldn't even be. You going through memory cards when you shouldn't even. You bring in Adamus recorders and stuff when you shouldn't even. Client is not asking for it. They're not paying for it. You don't. You know. You know. The format that your camera shoots is good enough for what the client is asking for. When you get clients that are asking for that crazy stuff, trust me, the check is going to come. We got a client that we work with out of California that often hire us to cover stuff for them. That it's just cheaper to hire somebody than to fly 10 people in gear. When they call me up and say we need Canon footage that's C200 and yada yada yada, they pay for it without a doubt. We go out and rent everything if we need it, and whatever they want us to shoot it in. They pay us well for it. And most clients just don't ask for it. Like, they're just not asking for it. So keep that in mind before you jump out there being artistic. It's just not, you really just playing yourself. Go for it, Tim.
Yeah, I'm always surprised because, like, out of all the ad campaigns that we've ever created, done, and like we do still shoot commercials, we do all that stuff, I've never had a client ask for any specific camera, any kind of whatever. But the crazy thing is like sometimes whenever I'll go and like either go and help on another production or something, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna rent this like RE camera and this red camera, and I'm like, why? All that's doing is cutting into your profit margins. And they're like, well, because it, like, I can say that I shoot on it. And I'm like, who cares? Like, I can guarantee you the next client doesn't care that you shot on a red. I can guarantee they don't care that you shot on an RE. Yeah, maybe everyone that's like behind the scenes, the guys you went to film school with may think that's cool, but they're not my customer. So, and I'd rather keep more of my profit margin, in my opinion.
I totally agree. And cameras are to the point where you, as a camera guy, need to see a red next to like a Sony, and you're at your computer screen like, yeah, the pixel is like, I see two shades. You think somebody who ain't never looked at a camera past the Best Buy aisle gonna really care? Cinema, filmmaking is different. We're talking about working with corporate clients. So keep that in mind. Like, don't kill yourself following dudes on YouTube that have 10 cameras that do the same thing. Let me just say that real quick. Just be mindful of guys that have 10 cameras that do the same thing. There's no logical reason why you would buy it. Like, this just don't make sense. I got an FX3, I got an A7S-R3, I got the new Alpha 1. Like, why? Why would you, who in their logical mind would go out and buy, like, why would you do it? Unless it's being provided to you. Just gonna say that. All right, Alex, go for it.
Real quick, man, you made a real good point about how ignorant a lot of us are, including myself, when it comes to gear. I am a gearhead. I'm not gonna lie. I could talk specs, camera with you all day long and have just as much fun doing that as, watching a ball game. I just love it. But we happen to think, and a lot of us, I should say, I shouldn't say all of us, but happen to think that when we walk into a job with 2 cameras and this, that, and the other, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden it's like, oh, look, that's what, look how much, what up. And you made a good point. Nobody cares that I made McDonald's ice cream with the ice maker 5000. Nobody cares. And, the only thing that I think the gear can help is every 3 years, things change a lot. So right now, for example, I'm shooting with an A7 III, which is a hybrid camera. It's photo and video. I noticed when I rent the FX3, I got that center tone. All I'm doing is adjusting contrast and exposure. When I have that A7 III and the S-Log 2, I'm all over the place trying to make every scene look the same. And I spend about another 2 hours in my editing room that I need to. So yeah, it's time to retire this one for video and get something that does the center tone. But I understand what you're saying. Customers don't care about our gear. There's a guy I know in my other networking group. He has a picture of himself with a red, like kind of like smiling, like, look. Now, only people are going to appreciate that are people like me and you. People don't have any idea what a red is. They don't know what that means. They don't know that's a Bentley of cameras.
Right.
We only we know this. So he's real impressed with himself. I'm impressed with him, but nobody else is.
Can you imagine being in a shootout and you get shot and you're like, was that a Smith & Wesson or what was that? Can you imagine, like, was it an M&P Steel? Was it a Glock 17? Oh, yeah, that's nice. I got to get one of those, bro, because you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody cares, man. The client don't care what you're shooting with, man. Can you imagine? That's literally what's going on right now.
Yeah.
I'm over here with the G7, a G7.
And you can get it done. You can definitely get it done.
I still use a T6i on most shoots.
T6Is, it gets it done.
Yeah.
Who had their hand
Tim
on
goes first.
Okay, go for it. No,
that'll be Tim. Go, Tim.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say we still shoot, and what I'm shooting with now is still our Panasonic GH4. Like, nice. We still just rock Panasonic GH4s, and I'm like, we easily do most of our like 10K shoots, and we just use this. Like I said, no client has ever been like, what is that? Nobody cares.
You put a matte box in front of it, and you can make yourself look like Steven Spielberg.
Wax. If you put a cage on it, listen, you want to up your cinema level or whatever put a cage in a matte box. It'll do way more for you for the client than upgrading going from 4K to 8-bit 4K to 10-bit 4. I promise you, they'll just because once you set up 3 lights, they're gonna be like,
yeah,
like what's going on here? Listen, go get you one of these. Let me show you. Get you one of these. For no reason. Just they're gonna be like, wow, get you one of these. I promise you. They're $20.
I gotta mention something to you guys. I got this is the make or break. If you don't see me next week, it's because things went wrong on Tuesday. I worked at this, but I signed FedEx. It's for video production. She called me yesterday and said, I want you to come in Tuesday. Now, initially, I thought this was just for a walkthrough. That's what she told me. Well, she told me, I want you to go walkthrough, and I want you to film an introduction video. So now I'm like, I'm getting, this is a big deal. And they want to do multiple videos with me if things are good. So I went to go rent an FX6, even though I know nothing about it. I'm just like, yeah, this is FedEx. I got to show them something big. This is FedEx. I got to rent a Ferrari for this, man. And I'm sitting there thinking about how I'm going to cram all weekend to learn how to use this FX6. Turns out they don't have any. So I'm just going. I'm using 2 FX3s, but I want to impress them with my presentation and obviously my setup. And I'm actually wondering, Ty, if you have any advice for me, because I consider myself more of a cinematographer than videographer. Meaning I changed the background, the setting. Now, of course, if this guy is just in an office, I'm not going to drop the lights and start lighting stuff like that. But I've had the unpleasant experience of I got guys to show up just to look busy, but I'm the guy that, no, don't touch that. No, I got this, because I want to make sure it's right and nothing gets broken. So, and production assistants, they chew up money. So basically, my question to you is, haven't been that guy where you can feel people staring at the back of your head thinking, when's this guy going to start rolling? They say to you, so how are we doing? That's their question. Which means, when are we going to get this thing rolling? You have any advice for me? My first time meeting this lady. I mean, obviously this could make me. I get this deal and I'm talking, I'm back. Big Al's back. So my question.
That's easy. That's easy. I got easy advice for you. One, control the situation. Walk in like you do this all the time. Not in an arrogant way. Don't let the fact that they are FedEx intimidate you. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you about a time I've been in a room with, I tell my friends about it all the time. I was in a room with Roger Starbuck, former NFL quarterback for the Cowboys, big real estate guy, the CEO of Coca-Cola, the CEO of AT&T, and the CEO of DirecTV before their merge, and the CEO of that one TGI place, right? I was the only guy in it, and I had to take pictures of everything. I didn't walk in there like, oh, can you guys? I was like, listen, all right, fellas, let's, you know what I'm saying? You gotta own what you do. They hired you because you're the subject matter expert. They don't know nothing about it. So they're 10 times more scared than you are. You know what I mean? So as long as you're not trembling and they're trembling, they trust you. So you know what I'm saying? You can think about it. At one point in time, you've probably been on an operating table or with a dentist that did something for like one of the first few times. He didn't let you know. You probably flew with a pilot that was still getting hours for his course. He didn't let you know. Sometimes you have to go in and command the room. And the more you make people feel comfortable, because they don't know. If they knew, they would do it. You just have to go in and have everything together. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to take care of you guys. Everything's going to be great. We're going to have fun. It's going to be smooth. And that's how you work with big clients. I done been scared to death working with like Walmart, like in there, like I'm talking about. I got my crew together, and like 3 of them is just like light pole guys. Like, listen, you set up that C-stand with pride, and you put it up to, you know what I'm saying, like, and it is what it is, you know. So you just have to command the room. It's just like, think of it like this. Right. Imagine that you are a quarterback and you go to the huddle and your team needs you. Like, you can't go to the huddle like, okay, you run this route, and you got to go to the huddle and command that huddle. And be that leader, and your team will trust you. They will pull through. So it's the same when working with clients who are, you know, don't just take away the name that they FedEx, treat them like they DHL or whatever. And, you know what I'm saying? No knock on DHL. It's kind of boring. Treat them like they're the post office. And, you know what I'm saying? And you just go in there and you just, you know, you got to take it. Tim worked with some big cats before. How you feel about it? Go ahead.
Yeah, my big thing is I always think like if a big company is willing to hire me, then we're on the same level. Even if you have to believe that, right? Like, and I honestly believe that. Like, if a big company hires us, I'm like, yeah, I deserve to be here. Like, I put in the time, I put in the effort, I did the stuff, and I'm going to do what I know how to do, right? I do this every day. So let's just get it done, you know? And I never look at it as like, oh, like they're giving me a chance, like whatever. Yeah. I'm like, no, like I made this opportunity happen. I built the website. I did the thing. I did this. And I think you just have to have essentially like what Ty's saying is that ownership mentality. Like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I didn't get it by accident. You're right. And I thank you for that. And it's so funny, Ty, because honestly, I don't get that phone call in February from FedEx if it weren't for listening to things you were saying. I got a phone call. I have a FedEx account with my other company, which is basically dormant because of the COVID situation. So this is a burn the boats. I got nowhere to go. I'm going to fight. And I started this business, and I never forget all the things that I was learning. One of the big things you said was make yourself attractive to businesses. Make yourself your business so you attract other businesses. So I did everything from hiring a British voiceover artist to answer my phone. Thank you for calling CSM Productions. I mean, like everything. You go to my website, it just looks like the truth. And there's nothing but corporate there. There's no food, there's no weddings, there's no babies, no elephants, just corporate. I got that phone call in February, and it said FedEx. And I swore it was I owed them money or they're trying to sell me something. And I answered the phone like that, like, hi, this is Stephanie. I said, hi, Stephanie. How can I help you? Expecting her to tell me like you owe us money. Or she goes, we were looking at your website and it's beautiful. And I'm interested in what your process as far as video production for business, because we want to do corporate video. I took the phone off my ear and I looked at it. I mean, I was like, what kind of cruel joke are they playing on me? I'm not joking. I just didn't believe it. And then finally, it dawned on me that she really was FedEx calling me, and this is serious. I was in a supermarket. You know, supermarkets have those metal roofs, and she's like, I really can't hear you. I said, hold on 1 second. I sprinted like OJ through the airport. Right outside, and I was talking in the parking lot in 20-degree weather, like, 70, and just getting that corporate voice going. So
They thought you was stealing when you was running out of there. They were like, security, we got a guy running out with a phone.
I dropped the groceries and ran with the phone, man. For real.
Hey, I can tell you plenty of times where I was just like, man, I was after it. Real quick, let me answer this question for Josh. Josh, looking on the super chat. Josh said, I shoot A7 III bodies, but looking for new glass. What do you suggest? Hybrid shooter. No native is better, but not looking, but maybe looking at a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera soon. EF or E mount. Okay, so let me tell you something. I buy a lot of my glass EF mount, right? Because a lot of the newer Sonys can work well with adapters. I like a lot of Sigma. So I use the MC11 as my adapter, knowing that at some point I still may jump back and forth between Blackmagic. So I like EF mount. I like Sigma glass. So the 18 to 35, which is an APS-C, or Super 35 sensor is probably my favorite go-to. And then I like primes. I like the 50s. I like the 85. So that's something to consider if you're shooting with the A7 III. That's just what I like. There's people that'll choose something different. I got a bunch of Sigma. It's my favorite.
That 18 to 35 is golden. It's in the bag.
35 is nasty. I can't use it with my A7 III because it doesn't shoot. Super 35 is full frame only. So
right.
It's collecting dust right now, but I'll be back. Sometimes when you are, in that position, you gotta speak it into existence, and they're calling you because you're the subject matter expert. I done had plenty of times, bro. I was get off the phone and I'm screaming, like, I can't believe that I'm getting a call from Samsung, from Verizon, to do stuff. And I'm like, sure, let me see if that date is available. We may have something available for you on that date. Please stand by. And I'm like, I don't care what I got that day. I can miss a wedding for this. I'm gonna be there. So, you have to have that mentality. Kanye West once said, it's 1,000 yous, it's only one of me. You have to have that mentality going into it with your brand.
Yep.
You gotta listen. Sometimes we're just gonna, since Fun Film is here, I gotta use a relationship analogy because he looks for that. You know what I'm saying? He tunes in for that. Sometimes you're gonna land something that you may feel like is out of your league. You still gotta act like you the man. You're not going to be like, well, hey, I appreciate you showing up. You got to be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You act up, I'm just going to point over there and then boom, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm not opening your car door, whatever. That's just, you know what I'm saying? You just don't take that advice, y'all. If you married, don't. I'm just saying, like,
the views and opinions expressed in this live are
that.
not those held by the viewers or participants.
I'm just saying, like, you can't be like, oh man, because you'll get ran over, right? You'll get dogged. You got to act like you've been here. I've been here, and I track nothing but 10s and 11s. I hung up on Kim Kardashian the other day. Soon as she got away from Kanye, guess who she called? Would you believe that? So that's how you got to be when it comes to businesses. I mean, it is what it is. Marcus, good looking out on the super chat. He says, Ty, the story about Alex is perfect testimonial for Flash Film Academy. I agree. I got to get with him on that. I got to get more testimonials. I'm just going to like show up at y'all house with cameras like, yo, like, I tracked your IP address, man. No, that's crazy. I ain't gonna do that. But I'll be traveling like crazy. Fun Film said I was just about to type. Yeah, word. I look out for you, Fun Film. I know. So, you got to make sure that you act as though you belong there, because you do. You worked hard to be there. So carry yourself as such. When you go, sometimes you go places where you're not used to going. You got to look around and see how people acting. I remember working at a job and it was a sales job and I wanted to do well. So I looked at the guys who were well at that job, and I come in I was fly, and and I had to look at these guys and get into character. So I had to switch it up and come in my little plaid shirts and extra tucked in and just take on the persona of what's working, even if it's dressing and just being around and understanding what's successful. And then once I got it, then I can tailor it to my style. But you got to pay attention to those things. And big businesses, they work together. Like, they can smell success. So to make sure when you walk in, you got to make sure you are in control. You are the quarterback of that situation. Don't walk in like a second string. Walk in like, I should have been here. Like, this is my opportunity to shine. I deserve to be here, and I'm gonna kill it. And give them as much value as you can give them. Give them as much value as you can give them. Knock it out the park. If there were ever a client that you may want to go extra for, is a client that you know how to have unlimited budgets. Like I'm not gonna go extra for mom and pop, but I may go really extra for FedEx because that check don't stop.
You told me a lot with the teleprompter. The teleprompter, I own one. I don't have to rent it. I hit him over the head for $600 for a teleprompter for the day, and I own it. It's whatever. That's an extra $600 in my pocket. With them, I said, listen, for you, I think I'll throw in a teleprompter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I do it. Not only do I do that, I'm gonna tell you something else I do. Often I'm in a position where I can connect different clients, right? I have clients. I've worked for shipping companies that were like third-party shipping companies that offer lower rates to different companies. And hey, let me get a few of your cards because I want to run it by. I got companies that do a lot of shipping and receiving. And one time I connected a shipping company with a company here that sold carpet. And that carpet company would send out sample books. They sent out thousands of them a day. And let me get you in contact with my guy over here who may be able to offer you a lower rate. Just by doing that, both companies rock with me even longer. Like they kept doing business with me. I mean, those are little things that you'll start to pick up just being in business and having the ability to just, connect some people, and they'll love you for that. They'll value what you bring to the table. Even if somebody give them a lower price or a better price, sometimes it's just in the value. So keep that in mind as you do business, because that's something that's in your back pocket that may take you places. It'll definitely take you places. So I love to, I love to look for new ways to offer value to my client. And I get clients that want me to do all kind of personal stuff, and anybody that do weddings or whatever, I can refer them to the right people because they trust that the photographer I send them will be great. And a lot of times I have a photographer that works on my staff that also does weddings, and I'm gonna send it right to him. So now he's happy to work with me. I can call him up for anything, and he's there. He's getting clients to hire him to do wedding photography on the side, and my client is happy because they spent money with their company spent money with our company, and anything they need to do privately away, they can call us again or call the photographer I referred them to. So, sometimes, just being a consultant is of value. And just having that information makes you more valuable. So keep that in mind as you work with these clients, because those are little things that are just, that'll just blow people away. And they didn't even check that. Like they didn't even, when they called the dude to do weddings, they barely looked at his website. They didn't compare prices. They was like, yo, Ty said you're the guy. What will it cost? And there it is. So, just keep that in mind as you look to grow. And like I said, going back to the original topic, it all falls in line when you have the structure and you go into it and you say, this is how things are going to be laid out. The trust is there. They trust you. They trust that you've done this a lot and you know what you're talking about. And they're like, okay, let's go. You know what I mean? And hiring clients, that's what they want. The cheap guys want to micromanage and babysit. Hiring clients want to pay for it, go over there and come back to the finished product. Go for it, Tim.
Yeah, I was just going to say it, and really it just comes down to, and I know that I've said this before, and this is a few people say my catchphrase now, is clarity, right? Without clarity, you just don't move forward, right? Some products, right, the more expensive it is, the more clarity you need on it, right? Like a pack of gum at the checkout, the only clarity you need is what flavor is it? What brand is it? How much sugar does it have? Whatever you mark that, but you don't go onto a website and are like, oh, this $1 million house looks great. Where do I put my credit card in and just look at one picture? You don't do that, right? There's a whole process, like with everything. You have to go through and even see if you could afford it. Can you finance it? All that kind of stuff. And, without clarity, that's normally why a client doesn't move forward with you, is there's just something unclear in your process, and you have to make sure that you're asking them and just figure out what are the best ways for you to make it as clear as possible. And in my opinion, the great thing is we all know how to use video. We all know how to shoot. We all can somewhat edit. Just do video content for your brand to give a client more clarity.
Yeah. Think about how shady it is for you to be like, pay me now to find out. Go ahead, give me that bread, and then you find out what happened. You be like, I don't know. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead, cut me the check, and then I open the box and I can see what TV inside. Nah, bro. I need clarity up front. And companies do a great job at providing that clarity. That's why there's pictures and menus. So you ain't got to guess what the burger look like. Like they give you that clarity. You ain't got to guess what stuff look like. They let you test drive it. So you know what it's like to drive this car, right? To ride around in it. When you go buy a house, you walk through it, you look into it, you look at it, you check on, they give you information about the area and you get clarity. A lot of guys that are selling content is like, look at my old stuff and figure out what it's going to be for you. Check out my old pictures and then in your head, think about how I can do that for you. Nah, we want to see some proof. So that's why that's extremely important. It's extremely important that you walk that client through, let them feel comfortable and confident in your ability to do what they need you to do. And they'll be happy to come up off that check. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are like, oh, they're not spending what I want them to spend. A majority of the time, it's clarity, it's value, it's making sure that client knows what they're getting because it's a gamble. If it's a gamble, if they feel like it's a gamble working with you, you're not doing your job, period. You want to take the gambling aspect completely out of doing business with your brand. Go for it, Rodney.
So yeah, and I've written down some notes about this. I mean, it's important when we talked about like kind of hand-holding the customer and hand-holding the client through the process. One of the things I had mentioned or that I'd written down was that hold the customer's hand through the process, because that's going to provide them reassurance for them to know that they're going to be taken care of, right? And it gives them confidence and a peace of mind that you know what you're doing, right? And there's not going to be any surprises. And because we've kind of gone through this recently, we're in the process now. Thank you, Tim. Also for some other issues that we're resolving right now. Thank you, Ty. Setting up automated processes is so helpful in making you more efficient in establishing consistency. If you haven't gotten to that point yet, that is okay. Write out your steps of what's going to happen at step 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Copy and paste that son of a gun right into the email. We ended up doing we just had this happen twice that we had to do this. Thank you for the fact gift. Appreciate that. Dropping some gems. We were doing a maternity shoot for a couple, and we actually got them as a client through Groupon, which was a campaign ad the missus threw up to kind of get some business drummed up, and she did a great job with that. They reached out to us and was like, hey, look, we're trying to find some locations. We went out and did some location scouting for them. Came back, hey, here's some test shots of what we can do for you here. Here are the locations, blah, blah, blah. So we got the location site set up. Everything was good to go. And although we kind of kept in touch with them throughout the process, the day before, the day of, we sent them an email saying, hey, look, just want to let you know, we're looking forward to working with you today, blah, 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 blah. Here are some things to keep in mind, some things to expect. Make sure you bring some comfortable shoes. It's going to be a little bit of a walk as we discussed. We just want to make sure that you're comfortable. Number 2, we got some water for you as well in case you guys get thirsty. Number 3, please dress accordingly for the weather because it might get weird out there and things may not come out as they predicted. First and foremost, safety. You and your baby are the most important thing. If you do not feel comfortable doing a shoot or doing a particular shot, please let us know. And if we don't feel comfortable doing it, we're not going to do it for you either. We'll find another an option or another angle or whatever to do. After we finished doing that shoot, before we even got back to the car, as we're getting things wrapped up and we're walking back together, they're wanting us to do shots of the newborn as soon as the baby pops out. We built that rapport. We built that relationship with the customer. Another one that we have with a higher end client, we had not heard from them probably for a couple of weeks. We've just been like touching base with them. And the next thing you know, we're like, hey, look, because I got that feeling like I haven't said anything to them in a minute. I haven't heard from them in a minute. Hey, just want to check in, see how your weekend has been. Hope everything's going well. Got a chance to relax. Wanted to let you know, here's what's going on. Here's how the process is going to go. We're going to get the script to you by Friday evening at the latest. Once that's done, we'll do our back and forth so we can kind of refine the process, refine what you need to say and do. Once that's done and you agree on that, we'll send it over to our script writing team to fine tune it. Once that's done, we'll be coming out to do some B-roll shots, also get together our scripting for the interviews, and then we'll actually be ready for shoot day. And then we'll have the product and everything done as agreed upon by August. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And that's all it took. Just 5 minutes for an email, just to touch base with the customer to let them know and reassure them, hey, we're thinking of you. Want to let you know everything's going according to plan. And that's it. And that goes miles and miles and miles.
It can be in bullet point form too. You can send that in bullet point form. Because a lot of questions I get, like, what color shirt should I wear? Right? Just going into it, telling them, hey, make sure you guys avoid stripes, polka dots. Like, that is just mine. Like, I never thought about that. That's mine. But stay away. We're going to do green screen. Stay away from green. Things like that. When I do a lot of corporate headshots and I'm doing groups, I'm usually telling them what colors to go with to make sure everybody's together, because they don't decide. They're not thinking like, should we all do pastel colors? Like, they haven't really thought about that. You know what I'm saying? It's something new to them. Let me talk about something that you said and I have experience with that I never brought up on the channel or thought to bring up, but it may be a opportunity. Groupon, using Groupon for your business. There are some pros and there are some cons to using Groupon. The first thing you need to know, let me make sure I fix. The first thing you need to know is they are going to ask you to cut your price in half, and then they're going to ask to take half of that. So let me make it clear. If you got $100 headshot, they're going to tell you to sell it for 50 and they're going to take 25. The purpose of Groupon is not to make money. I'm just going to be real with you. It's to get your foot in the door to have access to clients. But you got to know that the clients that you're going to get is price shoppers. You're risking it. So your second punch need to be better than your first punch. You need to throw a jab in the haymaker. Because they're gonna eat that jab and say, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna just eat that jab. I've used Groupon trying stuff out. We used it for like our photo booth side of things. You really have to use it on something that you have really good profit margins on. It doesn't always attract the best people, but it is a good method to get people to get like your foot in the door. I'm not saying go do it. I just want to let you know what my experience was. Go for it, Tim. He got on Groupon green, by the way, a little bit almost.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so my big thing is, like, for us, we actually get quite a few clients that use Groupon, and we just essentially transition their ad campaigns, because you can keep a lot more if you're running the same kind of ads. And the great thing is like with social media, like if you want to just, like, let's say that's who you want to target as people that normally do Groupon, we can go and just target people that are Grouponers and show the exact same ad, and you keep the exact, like, you don't have to take out any of that stuff. So that's why, to me, I'm just like, Groupon kills me. It kills my clients. So I'm like, don't do it. But that's my opinion. If you want to do Groupon, talk to me first, and I'll show you what to do.
I approve this message. Groupon is like, so Fun Film is asking for a relationship analogy. So Groupon is like a really good pimp that will make sure that you get the work you need at a price that is just the bottom. But you'll get work. You'll see some action. You just got to learn how to, go for it, bro.
So that sounds about right, because the way we priced it out, she was going through her list of everything, and I'm telling you right now, it was one of the biggest growing experiences I think I've seen the missus go through. The package I think she put down as valued at $400, but she had two prices depending on what the package was. Right, it was either a $68 package or $88 package, but either way, it's going to be roughly about $400 if you weren't going through Groupon. And so the point is that the only thing that she had really done that got paid for was when we did our first wedding photography. And so video had been like getting work and getting beta clients for, per se. And so we've been seeing a lot of action in that. So one of the suggestions is to utilize, just like you said, Groupon to get traction, to get that experience of working with clientele, right? And lo and behold, let's just say we had that conversation about, please understand, sweetie, that the type of clients you're going to be getting through here, they're not big bang clients. A lot of times they're not going to be. It's a different mindset because they're specifically looking for a deal. That's why they're on Groupon. They're looking for discounts. They're looking for ways to save money. So just keep that in mind. Needless to say, when we kind of came home, my prices need to increase because this is a bunch of explicatives that were said, the amount of work that goes into it. Oh, she didn't hold back. Baby girl did not hold back. But it's just the aspect of her, kind of understanding, like, I'm seeing more and more now that I'm kind of, flexing those muscles a little bit. I'm starting to understand why I need to price things at a certain level and what I'm really worth. And that it's not just out there shooting that day. I got to keep in mind the amount of time that goes into the editing, the amount of time that goes into my research and my education to make sure that I am providing them with the type of shots they want. Even though it's just basic edits, we got to worry about color balance. We got to worry about, oh crap, do you got a little bit of a mark on your face that you want to get rid of? Composition and all those things. So it was a great educational experience. Great. And we actually got another one next week for a local girl. But I mean, if you haven't been having any luck, with Thumbtack or whatever, or anything else, try places like Thumbtack, try places like Groupon. If you need to kind of like, flex a little bit to kind of get some experience, kind of go out to the playground a little bit. But if you really need to know how to do it right, I strongly refer you and recommend that you go to Tim Cedillo for Scary Good Marketing. Save yourself a lot of pain if that's the case.
Plus, he has weapons in the background. He always has weapons. I don't advise Groupon at all. Like, it's not. Think about it. They're gonna have you cut your price in half, and then they're gonna take half of that. Don't do it. At least on Thumbtack, you get it's a little bit better. But if you look in the market, go holler at Tim. Tim, what's your website? Where can I reach you at? Let me give you some. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just Scary Good Marketing. Like I said, you can reach out there. We got a lot of stuff coming soon, so if you want to be in the loop, make sure to reach out to me. And then I'm always in the community, so you can always reach out to me there as well.
He said, catch him in them streets. He always in the streets. Pretty much is what he said. The community, the streets. Alex, you had your hand up. You had a question?
Did I have another question at this point?
Yeah, I thought you had your hand up. Wanted somebody had
No, not right now.
Oh, okay. I thought you had your hand up. We ain't heard from Jim. We ain't heard from Frozen or Marvin yet. I just want to, whenever y'all ready, go for it. That's what I'm talking about. Like the background.
Thanks. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So, I've looked at a lot of your websites, and you're all in pretty populated areas. I live up. I mean, it was a warm day when it got above 32 degrees in northern Minnesota. So, my neighbors aren't anywhere near me. So all of our work is hitting the road. So we go to Duluth, Minnesota. That's about an hour and a half south of me. So even the state is pushing for individuals to film up in this location. They want to try to follow on Georgia's back there with what they've done down there. But I know you're talking about a lot of softwares and a lot of marketing tools that are out there right now. And I owned IT companies for 20 years, so I'm pretty nerdy. But it's up. Are there marketing tools like that you found work real well in rural, middle and nowhere?
First, let me say I love Duluth. I got some friends up there. Duluth is freaking beautiful. When you drive into Duluth, and I was coming from like south up north, you make this one turn, and then the lake just is just beautiful. I love Duluth. Let me say that because I've been there a few times. For that, I would highly suggest going with a marketing company, going with someone who can specifically look at the traffic that's in the area and then design something for them. For that, I would definitely speak to someone like Tim who can sit down and really put something together for you and not just rely on some software that's just going to pump out anything and hope it catch, that's going to throw a net out.
I reached out to some scary guy last week and talked with him a bit on the phone. So
yeah, I think that's going to be the best bet. And unless have you tried like Thumbtack or things like that in that area? Thumbtack.
I looked it over the other night after I watched it, and I actually had never heard of Thumbtack until I started watching you. And I actually went on there and just started looking for stuff, even plumbers. I mean, I mentioned plumbers because that was like one of the like 5 things in the region where there was anything. Otherwise, I mean, we would own the video production market on Thumbtack.
I would sign up for free and just because they'll start coming into you, and then you can pay to bid on it. If you have it where there's little competition, I'd be working on being on Thumbtack. I'll be working on SEO so that whenever anybody's searching the area, you're the first thing they get, and then layer it with some pay per click.
Yeah. No, we really want to expand up here. It's the one advantage we do have is everything's cheap. Everything's cheap. When
I thought you were at like Universal Studios back there. Like
we actually built out. I was a nerd collector as far as cameras because some of you were talking earlier about collecting stuff. And my partner and I got into just, oh man, we started on DSLRs and now we're a black magic shop, and we just started collecting so much stuff. We're like, we got to rent a place. So we rented a joint and built a couple of psych walls, and we just love filming. It's just taken off. It's been a real blessing.
Have you thought about real quick, and I'm gonna go to Tim. Have you thought about maybe going into a niche where you can service people remotely? A lot of stuff is like a product video or something where people can send items to you.
We have an ongoing contract with some beer companies and things like that. So yeah, that's what's paying our monthlies, I guess. So.
And you can't. I wish I could work with some beer companies. Y'all wouldn't even see me. I'd be on here slurring and talking in cursive. Like, you guys need to make sure you hit that like button. I know, Tim, you want to jump in and go for it, bro.
Yeah, I was just going to say, really the big thing is I would just look at all of the citation type websites that are big. I mean, even if it's like Yelp, I wouldn't say like TripAdvisor, but there's a whole bunch out there. But Jim, I have your contact info, and really anybody else, if you reach out to me, I will send you, it may take me a little bit, but I'll make sure that I get somebody on it. I'll send you a citation list of all the places that you can have your business listed for free. Because obviously the more places that you have, and if you have them in Yelp and Thumbtack and those places, that will also help boost some of your SEO. Now, like I said, we're not an SEO company, but we do look at all of this stuff because, right, we look at traffic all the time. So like I said, anybody that wants to reach out to me, I'll leave that up to you. You have to be a little resourceful and figure out how to contact me, but contact me and I will get that to you. I'll just need your website.
Real quick, Citations is wonderful. And I don't know if you've used this or you prefer it. I know that if you go on Fiverr, you can hire a company that will submit everything to all the citation companies. Like, you can get like 100 at one, and they can just put you everywhere you need to be listed for free. The downside of that is sometimes they don't give you the information needed so that you can go and make changes to it. So be careful with that. Like, make sure that you work with a person that's saying, hey, we're going to get you listed in Yelp, and then we're going to make sure that you can still go in and edit it. But they can have you listed everywhere a company needs to be listed for free. And remember, or at least I'll give you a little tidbit in the master course. I talk about why you don't want to use your home address. This is why you don't want to use your home address, because you don't want it everywhere. And somebody like, oh, y'all, you say in your website, y'all shoot with Black Magics. Guess we're about to go get a free Black Magic. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can be done. And that way you can get listed everywhere. But those are things that I've done. And what I've run into is, let's say, for instance, we moved. I had everything listed under the old address or old location, and then I moved and I couldn't get in. I had to go back through everything to reclaim the business and all of that to update the address. So keep that in mind and it's fairly cheap. It's super cheap. It's probably like $30, less than $100 to get listed in 100 places, including like Google Maps and things like that. So though that's just what I've used. Go for it, Tim.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I mean, you can even do it yourself, obviously. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And honestly, if you want to do it yourself, that way you make sure that you have all your accounts and you control all the things. Even if you just looked at doing like one a week, you'll be set up for sure. And that's a big thing is, like hiring somebody is great. Just make sure you know what you're getting and don't get pigeonholed in something. That's really the big thing. So
it's a lot of simple things. Like everybody's worried about Google, but they forget that people still use Bing, DuckDuckGo. It's a lot of other search engines and places people are looking that may not be as popular, that you're just missing low-hanging fruit. And it's so important that you are there. Some places people use Yelp for things other than food. My mind was blown that people were, I'm getting inquiries and phone calls from Yelp. I'm like, wait, what? Like, how is that even? But it happens. So make sure you don't miss that low hanging fruit. Brian, Brian got a question for you, Tim. I'll pop it up on the screen. How many citations does Tim recommend? I heard around 30. I got a lot. I probably got like 200.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, the more the merrier. But realistically, you just look at what they are, right? Because like to me, like I don't think it makes sense to be on TripAdvisor. I mean, maybe you might get some clients on TripAdvisor and it doesn't hurt. Like it's not going to hurt your SEO. But the same thing is like, is that one additional thing that you want to maybe go and maintain or worry about XYZ, whatever? Like if you do change your address or you do change something, is that something you want to worry about? Because you do have to make sure that you're keeping that stuff up to date as well. Because the problem is if you start having like, let's say like TripAdvisor, Yelp, and Bing have a different address or a different phone number than all these other ones, then your rankings in Google are going to be lower because they don't trust you as much because you have mismatched information. So that's really the big thing is you want to just make sure that you can have 10,000 of them, but are you going to want to go and make sure that all 10,000 of them are correct all the time? That's the big thing.
Let me say one thing too, because a lot of people may not fully understand what a citation is. Make sure I explain it. So different websites have different databases like Yelp, Yellow Pages, all these free directories that house information about your business. All of these ways, everything that has a directory, a list of businesses, they have what's called citations where you can submit your business for free. Super Pages, Yellow Pages, White Pages. So all of these can essentially be backlinks a little bit, but you just want to be where people are looking because people are looking places other than Google. I'll give you an example. The big thing for a while used to be Amazon. I'm not going to say her name because she'll go off in the background, but if you ask her or you ask Siri, where's the closest such and such, if you're not listed in that directory, it won't give your information. So there are companies that you can hire that will manage it. And you just edit one and they'll edit everything. There are people you can hire on Fiverr that do it, or you can do it for free. So it's good to be listed because people just think Google, Facebook, but you're missing a whole lot of traffic in other places. That's important that you get your business listed, your website listed and things like that. So it's free before you go pay somebody. Know that all of these companies want to grow their directory. They want to have up-to-date, accurate information. They want to have the ability to contact you because they're going to try to sometimes upsell you on placement and things like that. So they allow you to add that information for free. Just know that they going to probably call you if you accept newsletters and all that stuff. They're going to probably be like, hey, you on page 28. You want to be on page 1? So it's important that you keep that in mind. But therefore, I used to be, there was one I was on, I can't think of the name of it, but for some reason in my area, when you search for best videography company in Dallas, this website came up. I forgot what it was called, but for some reason I couldn't beat them in SEO. So they were accepting citations where I can be on the list of companies that they said were the best in Dallas, and then you can pay to be ahead of them. So because they were ranked number 1 and they had every company that they could find and only like 2 people were paying, I could just pay the minimum, which was like $45 a month. And then boom, I'm company number 3. All I got to do is get 1 call from them a month to more than pay for that. And it worked. I was getting calls from it. So, those are things just to be mindful of, little hacks in the system, which pretty much allowed me to move up in Google rankings a little bit more and still be in both places at the same time, if that makes sense. So it's just a way where, and I used to like, you'll see on module 3 there, the way I work out my days, there's a time of day that I am set per week to look at our SEO, our reviews, and what's going on with the view of our company. You may have somebody cussing you out on some website. It could be some crazy ex-girlfriend from Detroit. You know who you are. And you may have to go and delete it. So, you know what I'm saying? There may be some, stuff happen, I done had all kind of craziness. I done had all just nuts that you just got to pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep your brass knuckles. Well, you can't do that, but you know what I'm saying? You just got to pay attention to. So, a good question that popped up is Derek P says, can I make a fact video and use that to market? I can tell you right now, no. Use that to market my niche, to charge what I want on Thumbtack or Google, or is that just good to show what we can do? Fact videos are just good to be fact videos. They're just good to answer questions that a lot of clients may have. Completely different than your actual marketing video. It's great to have fact videos. It's great to have it. But it has its own place. Go for it, Tim.
Yeah, I was just going to say the only time that I think may be relevant to use an FAQ type video is for retargeting advertising. Because if somebody goes to your website, they're looking at stuff, and right, this all comes down to how you're tracking, understanding what page that they looked at, did they not fill out a form, any of those things. Maybe they just still don't have enough clarity. And then you can show them an ad that is maybe an FAQ video that helps answer that question. But the thing is if you don't have retargeting pixels set up and now API keys and all the technical stuff because of iOS 14, your tracking data is not going to be accurate, that kind of stuff. So you have to make sure you have a good foundation set up and understand where they are in that process. Now, that's the only time that I would maybe recommend an FAQ video as an ad, but it's to somebody that already knows who your brand is and is at least engaged with it and just hasn't pulled the trigger. But to go out for a cold audience, I would definitely not recommend that.
So, in other words, if you're not down with OPP or listen to Ron DMC, no, I'm just messing with you. Man, I was running around singing that song as a kid and had no idea what it meant. My mother should have been like, boy. Anyway, so Todd, no, I can't make a Todd out of that one. That was that Yelp review stuff was rough. It was a hard time. I ain't gonna really talk about that. They know who they are though. Okay, so back to what we was talking about before. But yeah, you want to make sure, listen, often we think about where we look for stuff, and your ideal client may look other places. Like they may look different places for your services. So you want to make sure you're listed everywhere. And sometimes, like I'll give you an example, like if you're a wedding photographer, you may want to make sure you're listed in the not, right? Because people go there to look for wedding photographers. It may be more valuable for you to pay for placement there than on Google if your target audience is there. But if you're a wedding photographer and you don't know to at least get listed on the not, you may miss out. Plus, I've dealt with clients who you can have a dope wedding website, but if you don't have like ratings or like reviews on a website like the not, they won't mess with you. It don't matter how many reviews you got on your website. Like, I thought it was crazy, but it is what it is. Plus, you want to start to be mindful of reviews. Ask clients for reviews. Ask clients to leave star reviews, 5-star reviews, and ask them to write it out. That is something that is very important to clients you've worked with. Get real reviews. And sometimes you may get bad reviews. Remember, I told you it's great to ask clients about, what am I doing wrong? You really want to catch that before you get to Google, because once it hit Google, it's extremely hard to get out. And it may be just simple miscommunication. However, it's very important that you get that information. And Google is starting to look at your reviews, and it's helping a little bit in your ranking. It's helping when somebody look in certain places to see that you got 5 stars or 28 5-star reviews. Those things help people make buying decisions. Again, the more they can do to make this feel less like a gamble and more like a sure thing, the more confident they are to pay, right? And businesses, unlike people, we think about our pockets and our life experience and our emotional decisions. Businesses are trying to make logical decisions that provide a return on investment. So the more sure, fire thing they have, the more comfortable they are providing, the payment for it. So it's less emotional when it comes to businesses, because the person who's making a decision is not spending their money, they're spending the business money. So it's not an emotional decision. They need as much logic as possible. So walking them through the sale, having reviews, having a good fact area, having testimonials, all of those things help clients fully understand what they're getting into. Having you walk them through the process takes away all the gamble, the maybe, this should work, and it makes them feel like it will work. And that is what you want to close more sales. Then they trust you. Then upsells are easier, and your tickets get bigger, and it's a whole process that flow into when it comes to working with big high-end clients. Make sure you take your pockets out of the equation. These companies don't operate like you operate. You know what I'm saying? They don't, it's just different. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to, your client only knows what they know, right? Like their knowledge and their experience, their background is probably a lot different than your experience and your background. And that's one of the big things is that I also say is, if you're going to go and you're going to do a lot of these citations, and of course this is a little more technical, but it's not difficult to do. You need to look at, can you create unique links on each of these platforms, even though they all may go back to your main website? You can create something like UTM tracking so that every time somebody clicks, you can see exactly like, okay, I can see that, 50% of our traffic is actually coming from Yelp, and we thought it was going to be, Wedding Wire or whatever. But if you're not really tracking those, and like Google Analytics can only do so much, and one of the downsides is if you're not getting a lot of traffic, it becomes very difficult to track. But if you're using, like any kind of tracking links, any of that stuff, I'm like, that's just going to help you, because a lot of tracking links, it doesn't matter how many people. If one person clicks, you'll see that data. And that's how you become more effective, because if hey, all of our traffic's coming from Yelp, let's double down on creating that account to look better. Let's ask our clients to leave us reviews on Yelp versus another platform that we don't really have that much traffic on, right? So you're not wasting your clients' time or asking them, hey, can you leave me 5 reviews on, like, one on Google, one on Facebook, one on this, one on this? Because if you do that, they're most likely going to leave you no review. So that's really what you want to do. And like I said, try to do some of that.
I'll tell you something that's crazy. I had a video that I was getting a lot of weird traffic from, and they wrote an article about me on F-Stoppers, and I was like, why am I getting so many people from and I tracked the article. I tracked the article from the video from the analytics, and I was like, wow, they didn't contact me or nothing. They just wrote it. They didn't ask me. They were just like, they seen a video, they liked it, and they were like, this makes sense. We're gonna write an article about it and link the video. And I'm like, wow, here I am featured on F Stoppers twice, and the only way I learned was going through analytics, looking like, why am I getting so much traffic from F Stoppers? Like, are they are they roasting me or something? Do I need to pull up? Like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, I'm from Detroit. That's just, we don't do all the lawyers and stuff, but it's real important that I was, but it was good articles. It was good articles. Last week I had a video. I didn't know I was getting a lot of traffic from TikTok to the website. I'm like, why am I getting, but I had a video go viral, got like 30,000 views in like 2 days and like 600 shares. And I'm like, I was just posting on TikTok, just, you know what I'm saying? And here TikTok bringing mad traffic. And then it was started increasing subscribers or bumping subscribers on YouTube from TikTok. So looking at the analytics and learning where your traffic is coming from is very important, and especially when you get down to the point where you're starting to use trackers to see where you're converting from. So not only you bringing in traffic, you may bring in 10 people from TikTok and convert 5 of them, and then you may have to bring in 5,000 from Google to convert 10. Like that information you need to notice, like, hey, I need to be putting my energy here, because my conversion rate's a lot higher. So something you want to definitely think about. Jim, I think, did you have your hand up? Go for it, bro.
Yeah, I did. Tim, so when you were talking about that, are you talking about like subdomains for each one of those potentially?
No, so you can go, I believe, I always get this wrong and I need to be better about it, but I believe it's UTM tracking. So UTM tracking, even if you go, I believe Google still has theirs. You can go, and essentially what it is, like how sometimes whenever you click a link and it's like a gigantic link.
Yeah, it's like a bit.ly.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but you can add, essentially, they're called parameters that go on the back end of your link. It doesn't change anything, so it doesn't like do whatever, but what it does is it's a specific way that you structure a link. So normally it's like, the first one can be a source. So that you could be like Yelp, and then you can put whatever the traffic is, and maybe that's like the whatever Yelp homepage, and then you can put, if you have a specific campaign. So normally, like if you're running ads and stuff, we use a lot of UTM tracking so that we can see like, okay, this is coming from Facebook and it was this ad and they are clicking on this. But with like Yelp or any of those, you can just have like whatever your main website is, and then you can have like whatever parameter equals Yelp dash homepage, right? And when they click that, all of that gets tracked. And the thing is Google Analytics prefers those type of links because it can see them, and you also can set them up in your Google Analytics so they can tag them a lot more properly. And you can do a lot of that. Like I said, it sounds technical because, of course, just like in any industry, there's a lot of technical terms, right? Like C47 sounds a lot more technical than it is. It's the same kind of thing, but there's a lot of stuff out there. And like I said, I believe Google has their thing. We use a link tracker. I use Switchy. It's pretty much kind of like Bitly. I just like Switchy. That's what we use. But you can do it 100% for free, because like I said, I believe Google has theirs, and I think it's just their like UTM link creator. I can't remember off the top of my head.
So just to run it back for people who are like, what, and what? So Bitly is a link shortener. You ever go get like a link shortener to make the link shorter? You got this big old link, you want to make it shorter. But you can create a special link that takes you to the same page. There's just different links to know where they came from. So it's kind of like if I gave everybody below that's on here a different phone number that came to the same phone, but because of the number they dial, I know who's calling me. So it just tracks where the information is coming from so that you can make decisions from that, because you want to know where people are coming from. You don't want, like, all traffic ain't good traffic. Like, you know what I'm saying? It helps to understand where it's coming from, because if people coming from Yelp is buying more than those who are coming from Yahoo, it tells me that I need to focus more on Yelp, and my conversion rates are better. or whatever, if it's conversion rates that I'm worried about. So understanding that helps me move. It helps my next move be a little better than not knowing where they're coming from. Because you may be the man on, like I'll give you an example. My podcast, right? On Apple Music, it's just more popular than it is on any other platform. So if 80% of my people is on Apple Podcasts, maybe I'll design something that's geared more towards that industry or that direction, because that's where I'm getting a majority of people. On my channel, a majority of my viewers are men between a certain age range. So maybe I'll create content to appeal to them more. It's just about understanding your target audience, and becoming more efficient, and then creating, maybe having, maybe focusing on that audience a little more. Even let's say I may bring them to a landing page that says, "Hey guys, hey fellas," and if I know they're a woman, I may bring them to a landing page to say, "Hey ladies." So just having that information allows you to create more customizable things for them, or just track who they are so that you can be aware of it. If that makes a little more sense. I mean to go ahead, Tom. I mean to.
Yeah, no. Like I said, it's one of those that we do it so much that it's like second nature to me. So sometimes, like especially with analytical stuff, but the same thing is like even what Ty was saying is like once you understand how to do it, and you can kind of do that. There's a lot more things that I say are like really scary good things that you can do. So like we can even just design a landing page and show different content based on the different demographics.
Mm-hmm.
So, right. So like, for instance, like with Ty's channel, like if he knows that whatever, like men around like whatever, 30 to maybe 40, that's the big thing. We can create a page, a landing page that has those certain things, but then we may have dynamic content that may change that out to speak specifically to women, but it's all the same link. It's all the same page, but it's because of the incoming links and the traffic and that kind of stuff. We can segment it. There's a lot of really fascinating things you can do. Like I said, I can get really into the weeds and all that, but I know that that's probably going to be way over the majority of people's heads. But that's why we are in business, right? And we spend all our time doing that.
So for the ladies, when the ladies go to Flash Film Academy, I'm like on there like swole up in like some baby oil. But see, y'all go, you just see me in the shirt. And I got it set up that way, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to scare certain people off. And then, you know what I'm saying? But you really have to, if you've never seen it, it's because you're not a lady and it don't pop up for you. But when you go there and you're a lady, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like on a Nugenics commercial with the baby oil and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to, if you've never seen it, don't worry about it. Go for it, bro.
Real quick, we were talking about Google and getting bad reviews versus good reviews, this, that, and the other. I went on a shoot this weekend with a franchise, and I'm always taking control of my shoots, and I expected them to be kind of in awe when they saw me roll out with all the equipment and my second cinematographer and look at this, look at that. But they were like almost like, how do I explain it to you? Like they beat me like a rented mule. You know what I'm saying? It's like, like they threw a saddle on my back and just, yeah. And I'm like, we rolling from 11:30 until 5 o'clock. My crew is sitting there looking at me like, come on now. And I'm like, listen, this is going a little longer than I thought. How about we take an hour break for, get some dinner and come back at 6? She's like, no, we're going to keep this rolling. And I ran it. I know. Believe me, I know. And
I don't even know who that was, but that was on time. I just want to
say. I was going to tell her, listen, we're ready. But you know what I said? This is my first shoot with them, number one. Number two, I'm an independent contractor. I say, listen, I'm not asking you about dinner. I'm taking dinner. But I'm thinking, okay, listen. Sometimes you kind of have to build things up. And then, so my next time I shoot with her, I'm going to tell her, listen, before we start, 6 hours, that's too long to go without us taking some break. So I just want you to know going forward, this is when we're rolling to. This is when we're taking our break. And then we're going to come back. And if we have to come back, we have to come back. If she doesn't like that, then I'm bouncing. But
I'm going to tell you how you should handle it. Provide an itinerary. Make her sign off on it before you get started.
Yeah.
That is the nicest way to do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna shoot from 9 to 3. At 4, we're gonna take lunch. We're gonna come back at 5 and shoot and finish up. If we get done early, we get done early. You can put breaks in it and everything. That's how I've avoided that. Because you get people that want to get it done. Get it done.
And then my only thing was, like you said, Google. All it takes is one. They were very rude, and now all of a sudden you got 30 reviews that say you're excellent with one person saying something negative. So that's why I was diplomatic about it. I was like, I turned to the crew and I was like, listen, everybody, we're getting sushi afterwards and all the Chinese you can eat. I'm buying. Just chill. Because they were ready to like revolt. And I'm like, the first shoot. That's what I'm trying to do.
As long as as long as they feel like you're the leader and like you got it, like, let me go in here and tell these people what it's gonna be. Like, they're like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta take that lead and be like, let me straighten them out, because we ain't about to have us out here doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be that guy. And you have to set that boundaries. That's what I love about having my own business. I tell people quick, like, listen, this is what's gonna happen. Let me tell you what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen, because I got you got the deposit, you got the non-refundable retainer. Listen, if you want to, you got to take control of it.
But you got to take yourself back to when you would start with Subway. You're a different Ty than you were then. Then you would take a little bit more. All right, you can snap me around a little bit right now, but it's coming.
They get Tyrone show up to the sets now, like you with the hoodie on. Like, when you get the hoodie polo shirt with the logo, don't worry about it, Chief. Listen, this is where we go. But I mean, you have to. That came from being in your position multiple times, and I'm like, yo, they wearing me out. And then one day I was like, listen, this is what's gonna happen. I was like, man, they got in line. Okay, we're gonna keep doing it. I mean, really, that's you have to be the subject matter expert. I'm sure even as a doctor, you got people coming in there, doc, I need this, and we're gonna do that. And doc is like, look, I didn't go to school for 20 years for you to tell me to write you a prescription for whatever. This is what we're gonna do, and you got to take control of it. I mean, it just I have fun with it. I'm not the one. I love it. I have fun with it. I'm the type of person that mess with people anyway. So I'm the type of guy that just mess with strangers. That's just me. I'm sorry. I will say something and just be like, you good? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just me. And laugh about it. But I'm just joking. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? So I do that with clients all the time. But sometimes you get clients. I've literally had a client and I had to tell the client, listen, this is what's going to happen. You're going to do A, B, or I'm going to drag these files to the recycle bin and we're going to just part as friends. But you tell me which of them 3 options you want to do, because we didn't went back and forth on this 50 times. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do everything to make this right, and I can't make it right. And a lot of reason why I can't make it right is because you don't know what you want. You just want me to figure it out until you're magically happen. And I will never be in that situation, because people will put you in that situation because they're too lazy to sit down and figure out what success looks like. That's why I established that in the beginning. I make sure you sign off on it, and then I slap you in the face with it when you try to go some different direction. I'm gonna keep busting you in the eye with it. Like this is what you said. You said this. I'm gonna keep busting you in the face with it and with your own words. So I'm not the bad guy. And you have to have contracts and stuff to stay. You know what I'm saying? That is why contracts is so important, because you're like, I got it right here now. We taking three breaks. I only charged you for this. We taking a lunch. It's 4:00. We stopping at 4:00. Soon as you finish talking, cut, we out. It ain't nothing to talk about. And you have to establish that, or people will have their way with you. And that's the nicest way I can put it.
That was the first thing I bought from you, was those contracts. I had a very, very bad experience with a friend of mine. He runs a mortgage company. He's the kind of guy, he has leading man looks for a movie. So I'm thinking, you know what? Good looking people get people to buy. So let me use him in this this commercial. He put me on with this clown in his office. And next thing I know, this guy thinks he's Orson Welles trying to direct and do pre-production and everything else. And I was new and I'm starting off and I'm like, all right, listen, it's a free video. I'm getting something out of it. He's getting some that. So I do this video, man. And the guy has me there all day. And I'm like, yo, dog, I got to go, man. I had enough. I'm doing this for free. I'm telling you it's time for me to roll. I'm out. No contracts. I'm like, it's free. What am I? Good contract. Yo, man. I finished the edit. Get it to him. Oh, this is incredible. This is great. It's great. But the voiceover, he did his own voiceover. I didn't have a voiceover artist. Yeah. So he did his own voiceover. It's too loud. Can we re-record it? I'm like, yo, come to my studio. Oh, that's too far. Can't you meet me somewhere else? And I'm sitting there like, I'm about to hit this cat, man. You know what I'm saying? So next thing you know, I do that. Then he wants 4 other revisions. I finally had enough. I was like, listen, if you want any other revisions, it's gonna start at $300, and we're gonna go up from there. I did this for free. I'm not doing anything else.
Watch how they magically disappear when price can get involved.
Well, the crazy part is he turned the whole thing around on me, took my email to his boss, and made it look like I was trying to renege on a deal that I had to make a free video, not telling his boss that he came back to me for umpteen revisions. At that point, they took away, they were going to have me do a paid gig, and they took that away and said, well, that's your punishment for trying to charge us here. And I was steam coming to my ears, and I learned something from that day. I don't care if you're doing it from, I don't care if they're paying you, if you're doing it for free, always have a contract. And that right then and there is when I paid for your contract pack. So it would never happen to me again. I don't care if it says $0. These are the terms.
Yeah. Always use a contract. I use a contract with my mama. Like, look, Mom, I know you gave birth to me, but if I'm coming to take pictures, I need you to sign right here.
I mean, even if I thought it was free, how do you get a contract when something's free? That was what it was in my thinking until I got hosed like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the worst feeling ever. And you want to kind of be like I'm scary. I'm fearful of working with companies for free, and then they hold something over my head, a paid gig over my head. Mm-hmm. No, why don't you pay for that now, and then we'll knock out both together or something. You know what I'm saying? I stay away from that. I get that a lot from nonprofits. Mm. And I'm a nice guy on YouTube, but in real life, I didn't buy brass knuckles for the YouTube channel.
We want to see more of the real time. We want to see more of real life.
When we get it, we work on our own platform.
No evidence.
I don't
put that on our own platform.
Yeah, we can't. Terms and conditions of YouTube. See, right now this show is hosted by Ty. It's not Tyrone. So, you know what I'm saying? If you look, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It ain't Tyrone.
Put the Tyrone on Netflix.
I got an alter ego too. You can deal with Alex or you can deal with Mr. Duncanson.
Yeah.
Either one.
So we going one day we'll get Tyrone. But I wanted to go to Tim because I know he wanted to jump in on that.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, touch on the negative review part. So one is obviously if you get a negative review, I don't always look at it necessarily as a bad thing, because one is I do think that if you only have 5-star reviews or you don't really have a negative review, it looks more fake to me. Mm-hmm. So one is don't beat yourself up over a negative review, but make sure you respond to it, because the worst thing you can do is not give some kind of response. Fact. Like if you just let it hang out there and you don't ever say anything or you don't ever address it, because the same thing, and I know that I've said this before, is sometimes clients lie. They'll reword it to do whatever they need it to say or whatever, and that's fine, but just make sure you do it tactfully, unless it kind of gets a little crazy. Rodney, I believe, knows one of the stories that I told, and I have a video coming about it, about just like comments in general, like, because you'll get comments on, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and how to kind of handle some of those. But yeah, like I said, the worst thing that I think too is trying to remove all of your negative comments, because it shows that you're an actual brand and not everybody is going to like you, and that's okay. And like I said, if anytime that I see a brand that's like 5-star reviews, I'm like, you probably got like 10 friends that just wrote you reviews and were like, they're fantastic. And I don't trust you. Like realistically, I never trust something that has like perfect stars.
If it's too perfect, it's not what you, well, if it's too perfect, it ain't right. We're just going to leave it there. I ain't going to go into detail, but that was another relationship analogy. I'm going to get you in 1 second, Mario. Brian Smith asked a really good question. He says, how do you nicely professionally charge for late fees without ruining the relationship? You have it in your contract. That needs to be presented up front. and you need to have a certain amount of revisions that you're willing to do in your contract, so that when you say, remember I told you want to bust them in the head with it, you like, on page 3, we told you what it is. So you can't, you agreed to this. You always want to make sure that they, you lay it out front. You don't want to be the guy that's making up stuff, right? Because they'll lose respect for you. It'll look shady if you have a lot of hidden fees. You want to, you want to be upfront with it. Too perfect is bad. Yeah, you want to filters, and you don't want to run into too perfect. Mario had a question. Go for it, bro. You muted, bro. You muted. I still can't hear you, bro.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. We all should have just
No, I just wanted to add to also to what Tim was saying as far as like a bad review, and to my experience when I was selling the tacos and I built my page for that for my tacos. I was actually looking for, like, literally I was I was having a lot of good reviews and comments and calls like immediately as soon as they finish eating. But I was looking for that one customer to say, I didn't like your food, they're disgusting. So I can just reply back and, like properly say, like answer, like, what was it that you didn't like about the tacos? Was it our service? What was it? I just wanted to have more questions about it. And just for people to see like how I handled that conversation, how I handled that bad feedback, and so they can see that one way or another I try to at least satisfy that customer, whether even if it was not by our product, at least by in a customer service stance. And I just wanted to show that till I finally found it. And I found that one customer was like, you know what, your food was too oily. She said something like that. And I'm like, you know what, yeah, like our food was really greasy. It's a greasy type of taco, and at the end, like, it came down to, she was not my type of client. She was not my type of customer, and she didn't. I was like, you should try the other food truck. Have you tried the food truck right in front of your business? And she's like, I don't like them neither. And I was like, I think you're just a picky eater, to be honest. So
did you post that? Or did you post that on there?
Yeah, I did.
So,
like I did, and at the end, my customers came and defended me. Like, they came and they're like, I don't know how you don't like this food, but like a lot of my customers came back and like they had my back, and they're like, how can you not like this food? And they kind of just went back on her, and they were like, okay, and that was it.
That happens on my YouTube channel. Somebody's like, oh, you're doing whatever, and then I like the hounds be like on them, and I'd be like, whoa, throat punch crew, like chill, like we're looking up his IP address. This is his address. I got pictures of his mama. Like, yo, like chill. We gon', you know what I'm saying? I know you probably bought the contract pack, but you ain't got to put contracts on dude. He just on YouTube talking real quick. So it happens, man. But when you got people that believe in you and support you, they're gonna come behind you and, you know what I'm saying, and fight for you. Rodney was he was riding up on people, man, throwing hands. He said it's on site, Squarespace. It's gonna happen on site. So you see what I'm saying? I had to calm and chill him down. Him and his wife was riding out. They had bandanas on and sticks, and I said, bro, don't do no time. I can't stream live to the prison. They don't got it. I ain't got it set up yet. So you know what I'm saying? I'm working on it, but real quick, I want to give a shout out to Alex, because he got that screen. Look at that. What is that in the background right there? Is that like a
oh, that's my sign.
I thought that was like a platinum album back there. Okay, I thought that was a platinum plaque.
Yeah, that's my sign.
I like what you got there. I always want to, you know what I'm saying? It's between you, Jim, and Tim right now. Y'all, you look at that background. That's wonderful, and that's wonderful. I just want to put that out there real quick. You know what I'm saying? I just want to, those guys they started setting up lights at like 4. You know what I'm saying? About 3 hours before they were setting up lights. I'm waiting for somebody's battery to die. One of y'all battery operated somewhere with one of them lights, and it's just going. You know what I'm saying? It's going. I learned
they fully charged.
One day we just gonna go live for 6-7 hours. We just gonna, whoever battery die first, we're gonna see. Because I learned my lesson. All that stuff back there is plugged in, buddy. I'm here all day. I know what's up. So, see, I got people in the streets. I do. Real quick, somebody asked questions about using contracts overseas. I have people that have contracts, man, some are everywhere: Australia, Canada, India, the Middle East. I know plenty of people that got them. They're using them everywhere. Nigeria, I'm like them. I got to go to Nigeria. They be holding me down in Nigeria. I gotta go. I gotta go for sure. Dropping them. Somebody caught on to that nugget. Them J. Cole bars. Yes, sir. We are rocking the new J. Cole. We doing that. So you sometimes I'll be reading comments and I can't even get to the comment, and it's just like bloop bloop bloop. I'm like, yo, y'all chill. I don't need to know where this man mama live at. I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go live from in front of their house. It ain't that serious. They want to ask clients what the budget is on the first call. Let them do that. If that works for them, let them go for it. But that's just,
like for whatever
it's
reason,
just
you got a
something.
thumbs down already. Like, who's hating?
It's usually crazy. It's usually crazy. So it's like that sometimes. Sometimes take some time to go through your reviews because you may have some you don't know nothing about. Sometimes people in your personal life want to leave reviews. They want to mess with your money, and you have to, you can tell Google that this is, scam or like a scam or like fraud or something like that, and they'll take it off. Spam. That's what I meant. Scam. I'm just my mind somewhere else, but they'll definitely take it off. So be mindful of that because that can help and hurt your business. And you want real reviews. Sometimes you do 4-star worth of work, and it's okay. You may have had a bad day. They may have want 6 more revisions and you didn't get the 5-star. So keep that in mind. And check on those things. Make sure you are listed places that people look. Depending on what your niche is, if you're doing food truck photography, you may want to be in Yelp. It may be a better place for you than other places. Like, if you're catering to a younger audience, like I said, it may be more beneficial for you to have a TikTok page. Or, so keep that in mind as you thinking about who your target audience is. They look different places. Everybody don't use Google. I know we like to think that everybody does, but DuckDuckGo and Bing and all them search engines, they're around for a reason and they're still making money for a reason. So keep that in mind. And be mindful of the image of your brand because you can be working your butt off and your image could be getting beat up somewhere and you don't understand why. And it could be just 1 or 2 comments that's, they overpriced. I spent all this money and they got into a fight on set. They wanted to stop to eat every 3 minutes. It could be anything like that you don't have a chance to write back to. And Mario, you brave for wanting somebody to hit, they could have been anything. I chewed a taco and a mosquito fell out. It ain't no coming back from that. It's
Yeah,
it ain't no like it was hot that day or something.
Nah, it was. I didn't know the person, but I met them personally because I went to deliver the tacos personally. So when that person was like, "Hey, I didn't like my food," I was like, what didn't you like about him?" And she's like, "Well," she started explaining this, right? And I was like, "Well, you know what? I'll go get the food and I'll give you your $20 back. But can you please do this? Can you put that on the review on the page?" Like I was begging that person, like, please do it. She's like, "Nah, I don't want to be like that because it's gonna be nasty." I'm like, "Go ahead, because I'm not afraid. I was I was so confident on my product, like till today. Like I think if I would have kept it up, we probably at the Taco Festival. It's August here in Denver for a show though. But I was so confident about the product that I knew how I was gonna respond, and I was just waiting for that. I was literally just hunting for that one person. But it happened. I did answer like that, and I'll look for the comments. I'll probably look for the review here and post it on the group. But like my clients came back, like my regulars, these are like strange people, like strangers that will come on the weekly basis to come buy tacos, and they were like, "Nah, homie, you crazy. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, you was we call that in the hood, you was looking for that smoke. That's what we call it.
Yeah.
That's what that was. I'm I have to, I ain't gonna say I try to avoid the smoke, but I try to stay out of
Understand,
trouble.
they were brisket tacos. brisket tacos. I know we're messing with me over here.
And you see that, Alex? That's how you need to be when you go to you see that confidence? Go mode. When you show up to FedEx, you need to know that ain't nobody messing with your brisket tacos, bro. That's what you need to take. Tell them again one more time, Mario. Tell them about your brisket tacos. Cause I'm hungry. I'm a chubby guy. I like to hear about food.
Does anybody know like birria tacos is? Like it's birria tacos. It's very popular in California, and they're moving towards the East Coast. Long story, like I figure out how to make that, but with the long cooking meat, right? So I know about barbecue. So the longest cooking meat that you can do is brisket. And the longer you cook it, the tender it gets and the juicier it gets. Why use that type of meat in the process of making that type of food, and it just literally melts in your mouth. And I was selling out. I might be on the wrong business right now. I just like making videos and but yeah, birria.
Yo,
You're
the
making me hungry,
closest,
bro.
the closest I came to doing what Mario did was those same people that had a saddle on my back this weekend. Well, I started off as a photographer. So portraits, light, I love it. I love shaping it. I love doing stuff with it. And I'm good at it. That's one of the reasons I think cinematography comes so easy to me. And I know you know I'm talking about Ty. Remember Nature Boy Ric Flair? All right. So I bust off a couple of shots that were just like Van Gogh. And I was crowing and letting them know, whoo, look at this here. And I'm making them look at it. Look at it. Look at it. And I let them know, you know what? This is what you're paying for right here, because that's my strength. I hit a home run. I got a Darryl Strawberry swing when I get my camera, get my lights, and I know that's where I excel. So rather than chasing them around doing corporate talking head video, you let me set up lights, and that's where I am. So I'm like Mario with that brisket when it comes to me and my strobe. So
Yeah.
And that's it's all about passion. That's why it's important. You get that niche in your passion, you can do both. You know what I'm saying? I get down on the grill, but I can always talk about food. Here at Flash Film Academy, where the host is not a skinny guy, food conversation is always accepted. I need to start like a barbecue channel where we just, you know what I'm saying? Where we're just talking about food, but I spend too much time eating.
And I think
Business and barbecue.
Business and bar. I like that, Tim. See, that's why we got to work together. We're gonna have you market that thing, man. Scary good business and barbecue. Scary good barbecue and business. There we go. I got you.
and I think like all that, like I can talk about food and actually like cooking processes because I grew up around all that stuff, and it's years and years of just chilling with my family and just cooking and doing all that. Like, my aunt has a restaurant in Mexico, so I grew up prepping and talking about sauces and pans and like whatever kind of tool you need. And I think like if I put it into this perspective now, it's about me getting out there and pretty much walking the walk, because I know the information that I need to provide to the restaurant owners. I know I have it. It's just I need to be more confident in to articulate myself a little bit better towards them, and just to be a little bit more fluent with how to speak to them. And that's like one thing that I'm trying, like I like when you were talking last Tuesday, those few W's that I have under my belt have helped me a lot just to push myself a little bit more. But I have to get out there a lot more, talk, get as many laughs as I can, just so I can start getting confident about just me, getting comfortable talking with them, because it has to come. Like it has to. The more I do it, the more I present myself, the more I know I'm gonna understand where I'm feeling, like how we're speaking earlier. The more I'm gonna see those little flaws, like like now I'm getting a little bit more precise, like I'm talking to restaurant owners on Instagram and Facebook. Like I'm actually talking to them on a daily basis, like emailing or just sending them a message through Facebook. That's how I'm getting contact with the owners right now, to to schedule live feedback. Live presentations of the restaurant or whatever they're doing. And I got a few coming up next week, but like that's working out for me instead of the cold walking that I was kind of doing, because I was feeling, I would walk in and I would feel a little nervous. I'm like, and I would start stuttering and stuff like that. But like doing through text is helping me a lot. And then giving them a call after, like, hey, will you have time now? Okay, then we start talking on the phone, and then as a third step, once that's done, we set up an actual meeting and we're at the restaurant. So it's like little things that I'm like finding out about myself, what is working in my field, other than just like, okay, that failed. What else? What can I do? Where am I better? Because I think I'm a better communicator through text, even though sometimes my grammar sucks, but I can communicate a little better. So it's all about just getting
And
out
that
there.
works. Even in dating, some people just slay online than they do in person. You know what I'm saying? It happens like that. You can just, hit an app and just go ham. But, you may see somebody in the mall and be like, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be like that. But the thing I want to point out that's really good, because you grew up around food, you have, and it's a passion of yours and it's your niche. You can walk into a place and talk to an owner or a chef or a cook in ways that the average person couldn't. And instantly they know that you know what you're talking about. Instantly they have trust in your ability to film for them because you know what you're talking about. You're using the correct terms. And that shows value, that builds trust. That's why I always tell you to go into a niche that you have passion in, so you can talk about it and you can feel comfortable talking about it. And they know instantly that you know what you're talking about. It's like a guy walking up to a makeup counter and you're trying to talk makeup and you're like, with that brush there, and I be seeing them use that brush and they be like painting up in here and they like, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But ladies who wear makeup and know the difference in brushes and colors and tones and powder based material, they know how to walk into that situation and communicate with that person effectively. And you sitting there like, what? You ever see there's some people on YouTube where the lady let her husband do the same tutorial she do? And it's hilarious because he like, get this crap and put this crap over here and then mix this color, this crap. And it's hilarious to see him go behind her and try to do the same tutorial she did. She did it properly, but he totally jacked it up. And it ended up being like his channel ended up blowing up because it was pure comedy, even though he's really trying to replicate what she's doing. You know what I'm saying? He's like, my wife's here doing makeup tutorials, I'm going to do it too. Like, he did it to be funny. And it was so funny that it just blew up. And he got his own channel just really messing with his wife and just, you know what I'm saying? And it's hilarious. If you ever get a chance to look it up because he do exactly what she do. Like, and he's taking her footage. So he's not using his footage. He's taking her footage, but he's doing voiceovers. So she's really doing it like this, that. And he's like, you mix this crap with this crap and this color. I think this is some red and this, and then this, I think this brush is dirty, but we're going to use it anyway. And it's just hilarious. It's very funny. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, and with that, that's why if you're using a lot of like our technical terms, right? Like I said, if you go in and you're talking about C47s, you're talking about this camera, that, whatever, it doesn't help you in your sales process. And I think that's one of the big things when you go and you walk in. That's why you need to learn as much as you can about exactly that industry, that niche, and talk their language. Don't talk our language of camera and lights and that kind of stuff. The only time that I think that you should is to position yourself as the expert, but you need to take like one or two sentences to be able to say something related to that. Other than that, if you're spending more of your time talking about cameras, gear, that kind of stuff, you're losing the client even more, right? Just like what you're talking about with the makeup, right? If you don't know anything makeup, it's going to be very difficult for you to buy something if they're talking about all this stuff and it's way out of your scope of knowledge.
Let me post that good graphic for you. Yeah, that's he over there keeping it trill. I love that graphic. I don't know why. I just want to post it whenever somebody says something that's like super valid. It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, you know when you're talking to somebody that don't know what they're talking about cameras. I got that one camera, the the black camera, the camera that the black camera, the Black Magic. Yeah, I got that camera. And then we use it with the lens with the red stripe on it. And you're like, what? And then we shoot it. We always shoot at ISO 6500. It just, it just makes it look more film like. The grain is we shooting at in the daytime. We use ND filters so that we can shoot at ISO 65. You're like, what? What is this guy talking? You get people like that, especially like you ever be on a job and people stop you and want to talk to you about camera gear. I got the camera. I got whatever lens came with it. Like what? Like so, it happens to me all the time. People talk camera gear, and I'm like, bro, I'm working. Like let me film this, and then we can talk about your Kodak in a minute. But let me just knock this out, bro. Let me finish with this. So,
you ever have somebody say to you when you're taking pictures and you're like, I'm outside and there's people passing by. I'm like, I have to wait until they're gone. Just Photoshop it out.
All the time.
I'm like, why would I create more work for myself?
All the time. Anytime somebody use Photoshop to refer to video, I'm done talking. Like the credibility you have for knowing what you're talking about is just zero. We're gonna Photoshop the video, right? I'm done talking to you, bro. What you say, ma'am? Like I'm
Fix
just,
it and post
it. Instantly, it's just like zero.
That's whenever you come back and you ask them, well, do you deflate your tires every day when you get home from work and then re-air them up when you go back? No, so why would I do that?
Right. Why would I go through all of that? No, we just gonna wait till they finish walking. I'm sitting there looking at them like, you really think we're gonna that's how I be looking at people like Photoshop out the side. Okay, all right, okay. Anyway, I got them in my pocket. But I just, instantly. And think about it. When you go in somebody's business and that's not your niche and you don't know nothing about it, you're literally sounding like that guy trying to sell him something. That is how you sound. And you wonder like, why nobody won't allow me to shoot for free because you're trying to Photoshop video. And they're looking at you the same way like that we're looking at people that's asking us to do that. And they're like, this dude don't know what he's talking about. Why would I let him film? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if you know what I'm saying? So be mindful of that. That's why it's so important your niche needs to be something that you love and you can talk about it and you're educated on, and not because you're forced to, but you're up to date with trends and things because you love to do it. And it will help you so much. All right. 22 years of martial arts. How many countless people walk in my school and tell me how bad? Yeah. There's some people that would, if I was in martial arts, I would try them. Come on over here on this mat. Let's see what you're talking about. Even, you know what I'm saying? Like we're going to find out today. Sign this waiver. Make sure you initial over there where talk about
round one. Fight.
Facts. Yeah. Put initial where talk about cartilage and bones over there. Come on, let me show you over here. You don't need any glove. You don't need no head protection. We're gonna just go for it. So yeah, we're gonna just do it. We're gonna just go for it. So we want to make sure we good. Wait, we got people in and out. Let me get you in here. Okay. So just be mindful of it. Tim, you still got graphics over there popping up? Are you still looking at the Michael Jordan meme over there like this? I can keep that up there. We can just finish it like that. That is hilarious. Either that or that one. That one's hilarious. All right, so let me he said get the goat off the screen. We can't see. Is it still showing up on y'all screen? Oh, I ain't put the goat on the screen.
We're good now. We're good.
I got no LeBron James graphics over here. You said the GOAT. I don't got LeBron James. But anyway, that's another
shots fired. Shots fired.
Yeah.
That's a big argument right here, man. Big argument right here.
We had that another day.
Whenever you're ready for that argument, man, we can do one-on-one.
One day when because people don't know the GOAT members log on. When we go off live, we still be talking. Like y'all get cut off. But man, a lot of times we still be talking.
All I can say is I'm a Knick fan who got slayed by that dude too many times to call anybody else better than him. He hurt me so many times, man.
I'm from Detroit. I feel
you know.
I feel you. But,
he embarrassed the Knicks. He played, but he toyed with us every year.
He's up there. I mean, he's my strong number two. It's all good. We all have our favorites. You know what I'm saying? It's just when you start hearing the like Mike commercials, it just play a part subconsciously in people. They just, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good.
He's my biggest nightmare. I was happy when he and Reggie Miller retired, man. I didn't want to hear from either one of those cats.
This is true. This is very true. I wasn't a fan of Reggie. Let me make sure jump on. Wait, okay. You make sure I jump on one thing and just making sure that we triple down on niche. I know somebody said, I know, go down to your niche, but try to make it something you love, right? Try to make it something you can talk about intelligently. Don't go in there sounding crazy. Just think, when people don't know what they're talking about. Don't be that guy or that girl. Don't do it. All right. Let me put that up there for man. Oh, there's him. I thought he was showing some love. He was okay. I put that up there I should have read all of that. So it's really important that you think about that. Somebody says, Brian says, stop me after a wedding this past weekend and talk my ear off about cameras. Bro, I'm going home. I cannot tell you how many times I've literally was just like, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and I'm trying to get out of there and people want to talk about everything. Oh, bro, I didn't got to the point now where I'll just start walking. Because people want to talk to you about stuff all the time and they keep you there an extra 3 hours and they think I want to talk about it. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, usually on days where I have the gold member streams, I don't even answer my phone like when we get off, because I'm like, I'm done talking. Like I done talked to the crew. I don't want to people call me up and be asking me about the live, like, you should have watched it. So, it is what it is. It'd be crazy like that. But, and I'm talking about phone calls from like family members and stuff, not y'all good. But anyway, they're gonna cuss me out for that, but it is what it is. They ain't watching this long. We 2 hours into this thing. Anybody else talk about some times where you may have lost the sale because you didn't show that you were organized. You didn't show the client, you didn't walk the client through the itinerary of what's going to happen. What do your itineraries look like? Let's put that out there. I know. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, and it was like at the beginning, and it was when I barely started my Thumbtack, and they were just like looking at my profile, and I didn't had like none of the questions. Like, I don't think I have my Thumbtack up right now. It's still under the last business name that I had. But back then, like, I didn't have none of the questions answered, no FAQs, no nothing, and they're like, "Nah, we're just gonna go over here with this other guy," and it was gonna be with like a NFL player, an ex NFL player, that they were gonna do a commercial, and I didn't get the job, and then I went back with him, and I asked him like, "Hey, can you tell me why you didn't choose us?" And they didn't even waste the time looking at the email or nothing. But it was just because of that structure. I didn't understand. Back then I still didn't have your course or anything. I didn't know. I was just going based on on this type of videos. I didn't have nothing. But on today, like, they go, and I already have this, that, punch 2, punch 3, punch 4. I'm already talking about itineraries. We're gonna be doing, we're gonna be there setting up. We're gonna be going over all the footage that we're gonna be doing, and after that, you can go on with your day, and I'll get this off your hands, and I'll go ahead and do B-roll, and we can, and I'll give you a call in 3 days. You can do a revision in 3 days.
Let me add something to that real quick, because remember, you're providing a turnkey solution for the client, right? Tell them what all they're getting. Don't just tell them we just shoot. Tell them everything, because you want to show value. We're going to do this. The more you tell them, the more value you're adding up. If a car company say we're going to deliver it, we're going to air the tires, we're going to change the oil, you feel like you're getting something, right? That price seems okay. We're going to do this. We're going to give it think about used cars, right? When you buy a used car, it's usually more at the dealership than it is from a private seller. People feel comfortable buying from a dealership because it come with a 50-point inspection. We're going to make sure the tires are there, and we're not going to let you leave with, you feel like you're getting more. Really, they buying them from the auction, they cleaning them, running a vacuum through them, checking the oil, maybe changing it, and they're just putting it for sale. But you feel like they're doing a 55-point inspection. They're going to make sure this is, often they are just getting them in and pushing them out, often. So keep that in mind when, people are willing to pay more from a dealership than from a private seller, just because they feel like the chances of them getting, gypped or getting more is greater with a dealership than a private seller. And another thing I want to say real quick, we're going to jump to Tim. Real quick, good luck on the shoot tomorrow, Alex. Make sure you knock it out the park, man. Make sure you kill it. I want to say, one thing to think about on sites like Thumbtack and things like that, is you will run across some big companies on sites like that just they don't know where to look. And when you search for best videographer in your area, Thumbtack has fought hard to get that placement. They got big budgets to get that placement, right? So you may meet people who don't know where to look. And what you should be doing on Thumbtack, I'm gonna tell you what my number one goal was, because I met a lot of the big companies you've seen that I work for came off Thumbtack. My goal was to pull them off the site. Hey, what's a good phone number I can contact you to get more information about this project? Because unfortunately, Thumbtack doesn't provide all of the fields, or they don't ask all of the questions we need to provide an accurate quote. You can use that. What's a good phone number or email address that I can contact you so that I can ask you more questions, so that I can provide a more detailed quote? Unfortunately, Thumbtack, they don't ask all the questions we need to make sure that I'm providing you with an accurate quote. What that's going to say to the client is, hey, maybe the other quotes you got aren't accurate, because there's no way for us to get an accurate quote with these 3 questions they asked. I really need to understand what you need so that I can provide the solution you need. Pull them away from Thumbtack. They become a lead of yours. They go into your pool, or if you got Honeybook, you can add them to a follow-up later if they decide not to go with you. You can have them, you can send them out a questionnaire why they didn't go with you. There's so many things you can do when you actually get a hold of that client and there's no middleman. I use that technique all the time and it works for me. So feel free to use it or something similar to it. Tim, I know you wanted to jump in and go for it, bro.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, on like having all of your stuff laid out, right, setting expectations, doing that stuff, you're also going to weed out a lot of the people that, like, if they see like, yeah, like once you make your payment, you know, we'll sign a contract. And if they're like, I don't know about signing a contract, you're going to weed out so many of those bad clients. And I think that's one of the big things people don't realize. And it's one of the things that I tell people is, like, even in marketing and advertising, sometimes the way that we write ads are to deter certain people. Like, your ads should not just always attract everyone. They should also deter the wrong kind of people and set clear expectations. And I think that that's the big thing that you really need to realize, is that setting all those expectations, having everything set out, is going to help you deter a lot of those tire kickers and just price shoppers or whoever, and you're going to have a better quality lead more times than not.
Because you don't want to work with everybody. You want to work with the right people. You want to work with the right people. I've had people call me up that needed me for a shoot in 2 days and didn't want to pay a retainer. We ain't got nothing to talk about. If you can't pay a retainer for something that's in 2 days, I don't want to work with you. Period. Goodbye. Get off. You got to hold yourself to a higher standard. You got to get out of there. I just need to get my hands on some. Don't be that guy. Because I'll put it to you like this. I grew up in the hood, right? And if you've ever been robbed, right? If you've ever been robbed in the hood, if you've ever been mugged, sometimes it happens because you were in the wrong, like you were in a situation you shouldn't have been in. Maybe I shouldn't have been in the alley at night coming from the ATM. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at, like, what did you do? Not saying that the victims are always due to their circumstances, but sometimes when you're young, you do dumb stuff. Like, you put yourself in a place where things happen and you look back like, maybe I shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to working with clients, you're going to find yourself getting hosed or getting ran, or however you want to put it, because you may have been a little bit too desperate to get that job. You may have gave too much away. You may have said too much. And then that client is just abusing you because you've allowed it. They're getting everything. There is no clear understanding on how many revisions they get. Y'all didn't make it clear how long you were going to be there. Y'all didn't say how many locations you were going to be at. You didn't say when you were going to turn in the footage. You know, I need it tomorrow. We got 8 hours of footage. There's no way I can even get it off my cards and look through it and have it to you tomorrow. It's 8 hours of footage from 6 different like, what do you like? But you didn't make that clear. So sometimes in business, you may find yourself in situations that, listen, a lot of the contract packs come from me saying, I never want to be in that position again. How can I prevent that? Let's make this clear before we even go into business, that the X, Y, and Z is going to take place. before we move forward, let me make sure you understand that X, Y, and Z is what it is. Because if not, we're not going to do business. Because I'm not going to do business like that. Somebody else may be okay with flying drones at your wedding and y'all decide y'all want to shoot guns in the air. I'm not going through that again. And I've literally been at weddings here in Texas where they're like, we want beautiful drone shots and you to come down, and they chucking rice in the air, gunshots. You know what I'm saying? I got Roman candles, and they're like, why is my footage like that? Because I'm ducking bullets, fam. I'm like, whoa, what is the, you know what I'm saying? The footage just doing this. And they like, we wanted smooth, steady footage. It was steady till Granddad bust a shotgun. We had to duck. They got Roman candles and everything was in the sky. You know, they like zoom in and make it. And I'm talking about, it was just like, wait, what? We just, you know what I'm saying? I'm losing propellers. I'm fighting. I'm trying to land the, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to let me know y'all going to be, you know what I'm saying? It's that type of party. I'm okay with it, but you got to let me know it's that type of party. I lost a Phantom like that while we talking. I lost a Phantom like that. Shot propellers off and everything. Rice all in it. Like, yo, like somebody going to have to pay for this Phantom too. And the GoPro that was on it back in the day. So that's how that stuff got put into like the contract. You know what I'm saying? Or I have friends that aren't happy with me because they picked a venue that wouldn't allow photographers to come past the last person in the row. And they pick a venue with 48 rows and they got 2 or 3 family members that want to sit in row 38. Well, I can't get, you know, I can zoom in as much as, you know what I'm saying? But what do you want me to do? They won't let me go past the last person, and they in row 38, and there's nobody 20 rows ahead of them. But the facility won't allow me to go up, and I'll try to sneak up to get pictures, and they literally like, yo, if I tell you again, you out of here. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do? I literally lost friendships over that. It's important that you know that. They looking at me like, well, you didn't get the shots. Like, yo, what do you want me to do? So you have to make sure that your contract states that, because I'm telling you, I literally started making contracts that started from me saying, I never want to be in that position again. I never want to be in that position again. Go do some real estate photography, and they want these high-end photos and the house don't have no power. Well, how do you expect us to get all these great shots if we don't got no power? Like, we're, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can go in battery operated for everything, but how are we going to show the lights on in the kitchen? And well, we're going to show the track lighting. How are we going to show that? Oh, I just thought you would Photoshop it. No, I don't want to Photoshop lights on. I got other stuff I can be doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you got to make that clear. And every aspect of it is something like that. Like, it's just like, I never want to be in that position again. I never want to be in a position. I'm going to tell you something else crazy. I got a headshot photography, right, with a lady. And I told her we do 3 outfits, right? We did 3 outfits, but she had 8 wigs per outfit. So that 3 shots multiplied by 8. I am not lying to you. Lady bust out 8 wigs per outfit, fam. So she was like, you said 3 outfits. You didn't say wigs. I'm like, are you serious? So now I'm there all day because she got to change wigs, go through 8 wigs per outfit. True story. I'm not making this up. True story. 8 wigs. And it take her like 10 minutes to put on each wig. You know what I'm saying? I can't wear this eyeliner with this wig because I'm brunette now. So I can't be, you like, what? Well, with the blonde, I got it. So I'm there all day because she going through wigs. My contract didn't state it. I bet you it's on there now. You're not getting me with the wig trick again. It's not going to happen.
Calls for a throat punch.
Serious throat punch, but you can't throat punch old ladies. I just kicked their walker and just, oh, you fell. So sorry for that. It's slippery in here. Be careful. Cold-blooded. So I mean, it's stuff like that that's just like, man, like I never want to be in this position again. And you learn from the situation and you make sure that you protect yourself in the future. Revisions is one that was just, I was getting robbed on revisions. Doubling the time of project because they kept wanting to do revisions. So it's important that you got to put it out front. You got to lay it out front. You got to have people sign it and know, you know, even if they don't read it, that's on them. I've given it to you. I can go back and say and pop you with it like, yo, this is what you signed. You can't be mad at me. You agreed to this. We out. Just like your bank get you every time you get an overdraft fee, you agreed to let us take $35 when you 2 cents off every single time. You know what I'm saying? It was a meme that says you hiding your PIN number at the ATM. The bank is who robbing you. It ain't the guy that's behind you. He can only get you for $400. The bank can get you for everything. So it's just you agreed to it. So never want to be in that situation, man. You gotta learn from your mistakes. You gotta fail forward. If you don't, you will find yourself there thinking it's just a client. They just at one time. No, everybody's gonna get you where they can get you. It's just business. So, I just want to put that out there. Don't get caught with the wig scam. They will get you. Little old ladies, you think so sweet. They will get you with that wig. She had a suitcase, bro. I'm thinking her outfits was in a suitcase. The outfits was in a backpack. The wigs was in a suitcase. Her husband wielded it. I'm not making this up. Her husband was struggling with a trunk. True story. I'm like, she got fur coats or something? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she showed up with a bag and had the 3 outfits laid out. The trunk opened up with like mannequin heads everywhere. And I'm like, what is this? And she was like, we're going to start with that. We're going to start with high yellow blonde, and we're going to go all the way through red, down to brunette, and straight black. I was like, are you serious? And she got me, fam. She got me. If I catch her in the streets, though, I'm snatching.
I got your headshot.
Yeah, right. I'm snatching that wig and I'm running. Anyway, but she definitely got me. Don't get caught up with the wigs, fam. I just want to put that out there. Little old lady.
That's why I don't take photos.
Man, they'll do it on video too. Let's shoot the interview again with my wig on. It's different wig. Like, what? You got to change lighting. Your hair light is different when you go from a blonde to like a black wig. It's some stuff that got to, you know what I'm saying? It's some work. You can't, people do it with glasses. Glasses on, glasses off. Hey, man, I may do that because it's only 2 looks, but I had people try on different glasses. Like, you got to put that stuff and make sure that you good. People will get you. That's why that stuff is why contracts is important. They will get you. So, I just want to put that out there. That really happened to me, fam. And I was heated leaving there. And I was doing her a favor because I was just getting started. She had talked me down. I was like, all right. So she found a loophole. You're absolutely right, and used it. So I'll be telling my people to
How
do
was
that.
the wig not part of the costume or the wardrobe? How does that?
She had on the same outfit, bro. She had on a blue, a gray, and a black outfit. And I usually do. So I usually do, think about it like this. When I do headshots, I do each side. I do straight on. I do serious, smirk, smile. That way you can never say, I don't know my best. I got it. Right? So think about it. One outfit, wig number 1. Straight on. Serious, smirk, smile. Turn to the left. Serious, smirk, smile. Turn to the right. Serious, smirk, smile. Pause. New wig change. Wig change, makeup change. We still in outfit 1. We got to do that all over again. Times 8.
But the wig is part of the outfit.
So who?
Like,
nuh-uh. Don't you tell a woman the wig is part of the outfit.
I'm so sorry.
Fact. Tell her that the wig is part of the outfit. It depends. It's part of the personality. It's not a part of the outfit. She had glasses to go with different wigs. I rocked the red glasses with the blonde. It was everything. She had the cheetah skin, the cheetah leopard print glasses for the brunette, the red glasses for the. She had, bro. She got me.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Facts. She got me. But now y'all learn. Now y'all get to see. You get to learn firsthand from my failure. Don't get caught up in the wig game. So I'm not even nice about it no more. I'm like, okay, you wearing that wig the whole time, ma'am? Just want to make sure. Okay, we good. This ain't no wig. Yeah, okay. All right, just make sure it don't change. That's all I'm saying.
I remember, like, in my early days, in like 2013, I was doing like I had a guy, a local DJ in my area that was well known. So I'm like, okay, I get the opportunity to work with him. Yay, cool. So he already tried to talk me down, and I ain't know much then. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I get there, right? I film the joint. I had a little Samsung camcorder with the light on it, and it was a party, so you know how they be having up light and everything. So he didn't want me to use my own camera light, so I turned it off because I ain't know nothing then, right? So he get the video back, and he's like, "Why is it dark? You had your light," and I'm like, "You wanted me to turn it off." So, And that was from that point on, my contract was like, if we need to use lights, we're going to use them. We're not turning them off for nobody.
You gotta, because they'll cuss you out because the footage is bad. They'll be mad because the footage is bad and they ask for it. I had that happen a lot. So you have to get it in writing and pop them in the head. This is what you asked for. Bloop. This is what you wanted. You got to, or you will be the bad guy. You got to establish what success looks like, or you will be the bad guy. You don't want to be the bad guy. You want to be the guy that delivered exactly what you asked me to deliver and some. I even got some extra shots just in case. So, I've filmed and people didn't like how they looked, didn't like how they sounded. I don't like how my voice sound. What you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? I tried it. We offered you. I'm sweaty. I'm shiny. We offered makeup. Like, what do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so much we can do. We can't go back and Photoshop everything out. You can try to help a little bit, but it is what it is. Go for it.
To reshoot it.
They will let them pay us to reshoot it.
Right.
We'll love that check.
I know we use a software
do
to
that.
go back and forth with our clients on revisions. And we had one client, and it's interactive, so it allows for them to just click on the video and make their comments. And we had one client that wanted, their contract ran out and they wanted to re-up it. And I said, it's going to have to change. And they said, well, why is that? I said, we need to show you the software that the guy you assigned to our account, so you understand how many revisions we're doing for every one of your videos. We can't be doing 30, 40. We had one video with 90 revisions.
Damn.
It was the craziest thing. I'm like,
Two max.
It was too much, but it was a major distributor, and it was a 10-minute video going over a bunch of products that they had to offer, but it was everything, I don't like the way that this looks, or I stuttered here. Could you fix the audio?
Were you charging them per revision, or was it just like no?
It was under the contract, and that's why when the contract ran out, it was no.
Because you'll be surprised at how much little stuff disappear when money is involved. Like when there's no money involved, they're like, "Can you make my shirt a little bluer?" Like, what? Can you make my teeth whiter? But you like, sure we can. That's going to be $300. Oh, that shirt's blue enough. My teeth, I'd like to chew coffee and smoke. It's okay. The viewers will understand. Like, I bet they will for $300. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be surprised at how much. But when they ain't got to pay nothing extra, they just coming up. Let me just see what it looks like. Take the time to Photoshop the two monitors out the back. Just want to see what it looks like. Not doing it. But when it costs money, it's not going to happen. So with that being said, we're going to get ready to go ahead and wrap. Most importantly, we're just touching on the main topic for those that tuned in late. It's extremely important that you have an itinerary, that you can go to a client and explain what's going to happen. A lot of people fumble on the 1 yard line because they haven't drew out the play. Present the play so they know what's going to happen. Clients feel comfortable when they know what's going to happen. They feel like they're getting value. They're willing to spend money. They're willing to do whatever it takes when they have a playbook because they've never done this before. They feel comfortable. They feel like they're working with somebody that knows what they're doing, and they will cut that check if you can lay it out for them. And just for the sake of Alex, put in your breaks and your lunchtime and your itinerary. Put down that you got to eat. I'm human. That's one of the things that is in the wedding contract because people don't want to feed wedding photographers, even though we're there all day. Not only do you need to feed wedding photographers, but as soon as the bride and groom get their plate, the wedding photographer needs to eat then before the rest of the party so that they can eat their food while everybody else is eating and they're not getting a plate last and they're rushing through their food, catching heartburn. So it's very important that you feed the photographers at a certain time because the only time we got to chill is when people are eating and we're not taking pictures of people eating. So keep that as things they don't think about. They don't brought that to the attention of wedding planners who've been doing it for 20 years and never thought about that. So lay out the itinerary and make sure your clients understand what's going to happen. It'll help you close more sales. It'll help you keep more customers. It'll help you get more return customers. It'll help you in every way possible. You don't want to be that guy that's looking like he's never done this before. Trust me. All right. With that being said, real last question came in, was really good. Brian asked, when do you present it? I present it in the pitch stage of the sale before I even get to write the proposal. Because I'm telling you, I'm not just saying itinerary for the event. Lay out the itinerary of the process of what's going to happen when you work with me. The next step is when I get with my team so we can brainstorm about your project, so we can make sure that we can provide what you're asking for. Then we're going to present a proposal. I am then going to call you back 24 hours after I send it. That way they're not ducking and hiding and, oh, we'll see. I'm going to have them look at it. I'm calling you on Tuesday if we're sending you the proposal on Monday. Then from there, if you like what you see, we're going to go through it, and then we're going to submit a non-refundable retainer. We're going to have you sign that and the proposal and break it down for them. Break it down for them. Frozen, go for it, bro.
So is it better to give them an itinerary after they agree to the price, or
Before?
So you do it before you give them the price?
I give them I'm breaking down the steps before they agree to the price.
So you don't tell them. So while you're breaking the steps down, you don't mention how much the project costs yet. Because
a part of the steps is the fact that we have to go back and research it, me and my team, so that we can provide a proposal.
Okay.
Because I'm really building value by telling you what some of the things that need to happen in the background, right? Let me give you an example, right? When you order a burger, they're going to tell you it's handcrafted with lettuce, and they're telling you what's like how they're making the burger before they get to the price. And you want to build that with your client, so they don't think you showing up with a camera. Hey, we really got to go back and work with our team to make sure we have the best game plan moving forward. Like, that's all you're paying for, all of that. Like, that's a part of the package, is the fact that we're going to brainstorm and work behind the scenes to create what you're asking for. Then when we get the idea together, we're going to present it. I'm going to let Tim go next, but Tim can kind of tell you, if you go to him and just say, yo, I need marketing, he's going to probably tell you, I need to evaluate your brand, then come and present something to you. I don't know if it's going to be $2 or $2 million, because I don't know enough about you to make an accurate assessment. And that makes you seem more knowledgeable. That makes you seem like you really know what you're doing. I don't want to just throw something at you. I really need to, I'm a doctor. I'm not a drug dealer. I'm not just handing you drugs. I really need to go look at your x-rays, go look at your past history and what medications you're on to write the right prescription for you. I don't want to just be like, you just need some fentanyl. Here you go. I don't trust you, bro. So a doctor that's taking the time to look at that information, you trust him more. He's providing more of a solution. Go ahead, Tim. I don't want you to forget what you was going to say.
Yeah, no worries. No, I'd say really you got to think about it in steps. Like, to me, I think that you should have right on your website, hey, if you want to work with us, step 1 is fill out the contact form. Then once you fill out the contact form, this is what's going to happen. And you're telling them all of those steps of what they need to do to get on the phone, on a Zoom call, whatever it is. And then whenever you get on the meeting, I say, hey, thanks so much for joining me today. Here's how this meeting is going to go. I am setting the expectations. I'm the one running the meeting. This is what we're going to talk about. And if everything that we talk about sounds great and you want to move forward, this is how it's going to go. And then we get into the thing, and then we do that. And every single time you're setting the expectations on what that next step is, right? And that's how I do it. And I think a lot of clients like that, because sometimes, like, if you just let people assume like, hey, here's my contact form, and they're just like, okay, I guess I just fill this out, and then they get a little message that's like, thanks so much, we'll contact you. I'm like, okay, well, are you going to contact me today, or are you going to contact me 2 weeks from now? Like, I don't even know what to expect. Like, are you going to email me? Are you going to call me? Are you going to send a carrier pigeon to me? Like, what are you kind of doing here? So that's the big thing, is you want to make sure that you have clarity in all of those steps. Because like I said, a lot of the times people won't even contact you because they don't even know that they need to contact you. Like, I know that it sounds like, well, everybody should know that, but some clients don't. Like, they just don't know. Like, they don't know, Like, I don't see a contact form or I don't see a thing right here. I guess I'm just not going to contact you. You know, you need to lay it out as clear as possible.
And you'd be surprised how quick you can determine if somebody's here to play or not when you've already made the determination. This is when I'm going to call you back after I send you the proposal, right? You know to expect it Monday. That way, when you try to get them, oh, we ain't even had to, I got to, because at that point, they should tell you, hey, my boss is out of the office until Thursday. Can we set up the call for Friday? Sure. Now I know you're here to play for real. You're here to play ball. You're not here to, because you'll get people that just don't tell you no. Well, we got to look over and we got a meeting on next Tuesday. So can I contact you Wednesday? Like, we need to set up the rest of this itinerary. Like, because if you're not trying to do it, people who are trying to do it, they got that, they know when they need it by. Businesses have deadlines. It's not an emotional decision. They're like, we need the video out by March 5th. We need to have it. So when you talk to them, they're going to have a really good idea on when they need to make a decision, when they need to shoot, and yada, yada, yada. Especially if you made it clear, hey, the project is probably going to take this long to shoot. They can kind of factor that in. So you just want to be clear with your steps. And if they're clear back with you, that's a great indication that they're probably going to do business with you. If they're like, maybe we going, you may be learning that you need to keep it moving. Let's use a relationship analogy, right? If you date somebody and they're not clear on what's next, we'll see. What are we, friends? We just people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may not be in the right situation, but if they're like, I'm looking for this, I'm trying to go, if they, I'm trying to work and learn about you so we can go here, things are different in that relationship. If they're like, I don't know, we're going to see, I need to, ask me in a year, you may not want to stay there. So, people know what they want. I no excuses. People, they know what they want. And, I tell people all the time, it's just how they value it. If your friends say, I got $20 for you, you may be like, I'll get it from you next week. If your friends say, I hit the Mega Millions, bro, I got 20,000 for you, you would drop what you're doing and you would drive over there to get it. You wouldn't even waste time. So it just depends on how people value you, your value to them. Go for it, Tim.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, realistically, like, successful people know exactly what they want. People that don't really get that far are just so unsure about everything. And if you have a client that is like that, they may not be the best fit. And a lot of the times I'm just like, great, like, maybe you'll hear from us, maybe you won't. Like, I'm not going to waste a lot of time with that. And like I said, that's really the big thing is you don't want to have them trying to probe you. And because right at the end of the day too, I feel like if the client has to consistently get information out of you, you're not doing your job. You need to try and provide as much information as possible so that there isn't really a lot of questions. Because if you do that, you know that you've set the right expectations, and there's not going to be as much leeway for, those like nightmare type clients, because the expectations have been set very clearly. And
listen to the questions you get. Because clients are going to ask you the same questions over and over again, so that you can add them to your pitch, so they're not asking that, right? If you're dealing with the same target audience, they're going to ask you the same questions over and over again. So if your pitch has those answers built into it, you look like a genius that's sent from the sky above to do exactly what they need. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. AM1, I appreciate the super chat. He said we dropping gems over here. Gems, we call them throat punches as well. So I want to say I appreciate your super chat. You want to make sure that you're listening to people, and really good, successful people make fast decisions. They don't even have to be the right decision. They know how to learn from that bad decision so quick and change directions. That's what makes them great. And you never even notice the first bad decision. They make fast decisions. Oh, this ain't working. Let's pull out. Let's go. This boom. Let's go. We dropping, the new Coke. Oh, they all don't like it. We pulling it off. We going boom. Here we go. We going back to Coke Zero. They make fast decisions. People who don't make fast decisions, like a Sears, a JCPenney's, I don't know if we want to invest in our website just yet. This internet thing is just not really taking off like we think it would. Those are the ones that's just gone. They're going away. So your small company, make fast decisions. You can recover from it. Just make decisions. Don't be stuck. Like, I think I won't. It's not happening. It's not happening. With that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap. Let me say real quick. I know I like to make sure I give thanks to y'all because I really appreciate y'all that come on here, that light up y'all cameras, that hold your phones up. You know what I'm saying? That do the dope backgrounds and all the lights. Nobody battery went out, so I'm loving it. I want to thank you guys for sticking around with me for 2-3 hours as we chop it up and talk on these Thursday nights. Those who are watching that's not a part of the video, that's asking questions, I want to thank you for your participation. Everybody that jumped on has been a part of this. You are greatly appreciated, and I can't do it without you. And I really, really, truly mean that. If you catch me on the street, I'm gonna tell you the same thing. I truly mean it. Anybody who know this is who I am. This is not a YouTube, character. This is me. I just don't cuss as much. So, with that being said, I just want to thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. And I will see you guys definitely next Thursday. We're gonna do this again next Thursday. If you're missing these lives, if you don't get them, make sure you join the text list. Make sure you join the text list so you can see it. I'll pop that graphic on for 2 seconds before we go, as soon as I find it. And that way you're not missing none of these, and YouTube didn't tell you about it. That way you'll have it. Make sure you text flash film one word to 74121. I will not drunk text you. I promise you. I don't drunk text from that number no more. I tried to stop it. Tim was like, bro, I'm chilling with the fam. What's up? I'm like, Tim, the marketing stuff was the last time we was gonna do the tracking. What is it? And we fixed that.
It's okay if we're drinking together.
Facts. Drinking and cigar facts. Okay, so I'm gonna hold everybody to that. So just I don't do you promise you won't get a drunk text, but YouTube sometimes doesn't let people know. But if you want to know, there you go. And we also have the podcast, which is always available. We it's always available wherever you listen to podcasts. I want to thank you guys for coming out. I will see you guys next week. Let me say this. There won't be a video next week. There won't be a live next week because I'll be out of town, but there will be something special. Not going to say what it is, but it's going to be big. I'll leave it at that. All right.